You was never running wild through the city, you was searching for love. You was never running wild with us, nigga, we was really the thugs. You was on the porch, nigga, I was in the courtroom. Mama crying like they did my baby wrong, felt her pain in the courtroom. 200 shots inside his rafe, they gave him a closed casket. 100 ball in my safe for a case if I ever blasted. You niggas acting, I swear to God it was just me when them niggas showed up. Just when I found that I was scared of death, thank God I was closed up. Shit slowed up, came from no father. Now I'm the GOAT father, y'all go dodging. I floor premium, the bitch I paint so raw we need dope charges. Rudy my brother, nigga, I never sacrificed the love for you sucker niggas. Get shot out to Louis, nigga, 2 middle fingers up, arming on you coochie niggas. You flow like the old Carter, the only thing can hurt me is my only daughter. I come from the projects, toilet bro, Dookie stuck in my toilet water. Bro, show me the Pyrex. I popped out, jewelry wetter than holy water. Little nigga, don't try that. We send fat back. Don't die if it's not important.
Since the age of 15, I've never been free. I always had a PO. I was in the cell with a nigga I'd never argue with. Cause he killed the CO with his bare hands. He was a bad man. They call him the Sandman. I went to trial and never saw that nigga again. True story.
True story, nothing I'm spitting is fake. You niggas ain't living this way. When the case get real, you niggas gon' swill. Help them folk get an A on the case. Double R, see the rape through the gate. I put my heart in this shit, I'm a great. Otis died, Streets died, I can't move. Bro got rich off the flake. My mama cried, her son died in the gangway. His brother died the same way, lost her third son, cause he spit back the same day. Killed them niggas the same way, shit treacherous. Yeah. And they wonder why that young black boy not affectionate. Yeah.
Since the age of 15, I've never been free. I always had a PO. I was in the cell with a nigga I'd never argue with. Cause he killed the CO with his bare hands. He was a bad man. They call him the Sandman. I went to trial and never saw that nigga again. True story. True story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, my beautiful people, man? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, man, Wild Ass Wednesday. We in the building, man. You feel me? Holding it down, doing what we do, how we do when we do it. You feel me? Hey, man, listen. Man, it's the 4th day of the strong. You feel me? How everybody doing? How everybody doing, man? You know, some of y'all call it, what they call it, hump day. You feel me? The midst of the, you know what I'm saying? The midst of the week. You feel me? Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all, let's get to it. Y'all know how I like to start off every show. Man, let's keep everyone in our thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. Once again, let's keep thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. And lastly, family, let's keep everyone in our thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. That's people we come in contact with on a daily basis, people we're cordial with, our families, our extended families, and more especially our family right here on this channel, y'all. Secondly, don't forget to master these 5 key components of life. That's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. That's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. And one last time for those in the back, y'all, that's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. You feel me? And don't forget the most important part, man. You feel me? That thing that hold all them other Jones together, man, that's that support. So don't forget to sprinkle a little support on top, man, because a little support go a long, 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 long way, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta, man, y'all, I was just watching something earlier, man, that put me in the mind of support. Then it brought tears to my eyes, man. That's what we gotta do, man. We gotta have a little support. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, be a support system for us, you feel me? You know what I'm saying, for each other. And we don't get that. Art, what's going on? Art, my boy, 2 Hills, what's happening, my boy? But yeah, man, listen, man, if you don't believe me, try it out, see if it worked for you. If it don't, come on back, we can talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Most definitely we can. Hey, man, big shout out to my co-host who ain't never in the building. I actually talked to my boy L Boogie today. Big shout out to L Boogie. Big shout out to Roscoe P, man. And big shout out to my co-hosts with the most, my little one, AJ. I love you, son. Hey, man, big Leo gang in the building. I know it's over with, but you know what I'm saying? We still popping shit. You feel me? Big Leo gang. Hey, also, man, big shout out to all the Virgos, man. You know what I'm saying? It's Virgo season now. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I'm gonna shout these Virgos off right now is because I'm on the cusp. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Fake Leo, fake Virgo type situation. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, but nah, but being for real, man, big shout out to all the Virgos. Man, listen, I don't know for what astrological sign you, man. Big shout out to you, man, if you had a birthday that didn't pass between, you feel me, January and that, man. Yeah, happy big belated. You feel me? Hey, but yeah, man, but moving right along, man, you feel me? Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Don't forget to hit that like button as you come into the building, man. You feel me? I try to update and you know what I'm saying, keep y'all abreast upon, you know what I'm saying, current events, old events and new events, you feel me? Or future events rather. So man, we still on this Nolan Wells days, man. Big shout out to Nancy Grace, Officer Tatum, Don Lemon, and you know what I'm saying, the small medias and the other big medias that's, you know what I'm saying, posted and cover, you know what I'm saying, this thing, man, Hey, and also, man, I was watching some, man, listen, I'm telling y'all, I was also watching something too, man, about a person and their feelings and their heart about some things that were wrong. And a judge and other people were trying to tell, and her lawyer friend was trying to tell her, you feel me? This is the law. This is how things go. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy mad though, man, because we don't understand, bro. And that's why I be, and so, and I be feeling my little bro Two Heels when he be talking this talk, right? I feel him, but man, man. But he right though, man. Like we in a system that ain't ours. So and we ain't trying to get to you feel me about that, but you know what I'm saying? We just gotta work on it, man. Learn the law. You feel me? Just work on it and shit. You know what to do and what not to do. So choose the you know what I'm saying? But anyway. You feel me? But yeah, man. Hey, little bro, make sure you put the link in the chat too, man. Make sure y'all tap into Two Heels STS, man. Where we talk all things WWE, man. Where we do PLE watch alongs and we talk all things SmackDown and all things Raw. So if you're a WWE fan, man, make sure y'all tune in, tap in, and check us out, man. Big shout out to Wes, big shout out to J Dub, big shout out to Nike fam, you feel me? And big shout out to yours truly, man. Make sure y'all go tap in to Two Heels STS. Yeah, man. Oh man, little bro, too. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to link us up with the ATD with the ladies that do. You know what I'm saying? They watch alongs and stuff too. You feel me? So I'm just trying to situate some shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what's happening. Oh, also too, man. Make sure y'all tune in this Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have Boo London in the building, man. Make sure y'all go tap in, tune in, check him out. He was on the debut. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He gonna bless your boy with a, you know what I'm saying, with an interview type situation. You feel me? So man, I'm looking forward to that. Hope y'all are too. So make sure y'all tune in Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. You know what I'm saying? 8:28. Y'all see the date. Y'all see it right there for you. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tune in and check us out this Friday for that interview. You know what I'm saying? We got some things going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? We got some things going on. You feel? You know what I'm saying? But let me do this though, man, before I get to playing my content that I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into some more Nolan Wells, man. I know people be tired of it, man. But look, I like to just keep people abreast and you know what I'm saying, abroad of what's going on. Just like yesterday, man. The situation yesterday that I played about the young lady, man, who was on the live, you know what I'm saying, at our house in the middle of the woods type situation, and the husband ain't a suspect. That shit seemed mighty peculiar to me. And we gonna still float in the breast on that as well. We gonna keep y'all up in the tune on that as well. But let's get to this, man. So the thoughts, views, and opinions of Bearded Conversations are the thoughts, views, and opinions of me tonight. Once again, the thoughts, views, and opinions of Bearded Conversations are the thoughts, views, and opinions of me tonight. I don't mean to hurt, to harm, or to offend. I don't mean to hurt, to harm, or to offend. This video stream is for informational excuse me. This video stream is for informational, educational, and edutainment purposes only. Once again, this video stream is for informational, educational, and edutainment purposes only, with the underlying undertone on edutainment. So we do emphasize and stress edutainment. Please do not take any advice given or anything shown or anything said on this video stream for face value without consulting a proper professional that suits your specific needs. Please do your due diligence. Please do your proper vet work and research, because we don't want you going out here, you know what I'm saying, robbing no banks, starting no revolts, telling your boss what he or she can take, how they can turn it sideways, and where to put it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you blaming that on us. Oh, and also, man, don't forget, like I always say, you feel me, to get that second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth opinion. You know what I'm saying? After you do your proper vetting, after you do your due diligence, and after you do your own research, you know what I'm saying? And you know you're going down the proper channels to do it the right way. You feel me? Get that second, get that third, get that fourth, get that fifth, get that sixth. Dig. Knowledge is infinite. You know what I'm saying? So don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Keep striving. I don't know for what it's about, man. If it's about the law, if it's about biology, if it's about chemistry, it's about whatever. You feel me, man? Keep that research, keep that brain fresh, man. You feel me? Because, you know, new things come out all the time. And, you know what I'm saying? You can find things that could be innovative. And you feel me? So, man, you know, learning is a process. You know, learning is evolution itself. Science is evolution within itself. You feel me? So, man, just stay attuned, stay abroad, stay abroad, and have an open mind. You know, a lot of times when, you know, we have a lot of these broadcasts and I'm talking about certain things, you know, and people, you know, think it's a challenge or think it's, you know what I'm saying, some type of conflict or a situation that we trying to bring about. No, man, you feel me? You know, it's just a good conversation, good discussion. You know, you feel me? Trying to have good intellectual discourse or just discourse period, man. You feel me? To just keep us fresh, you know what I'm saying? You know, and also, man, you feel me? You gotta have an open heart mind to things, man, and eyes as well. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You can't always be closed-minded. I know it's hard, you feel me? Because a lot of people are closed-minded. You know what I'm saying? Till shit hit home or till something smack them in their face, you know what I'm saying? So I do understand that as well. But excuse me, y'all, man, I'm in the nasally. Man, my allergies flaring up. What's going on, Dr. Chocolate? We got the beautiful Dr. Chocolate in the building. Hey, man, listen. Hey, I was talking about Doc the other day, man. Like I was telling y'all, man, some of the female ladies and things that I like to watch and that I mess with on YouTube as far as content, man. Dr. Chocolate is one of them. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Dr. Chocolate. But let's get into this content, man. Let's get into this new situation about this Nolan well. So supposedly, y'all, the granddaddy supposedly was on the island. You feel me? Was on the island. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, let's get to it. Let's see what she talking about.
Bombshell. A witness tells us tonight, I went with Nolan's mother to the coroner's office, and this is what I saw. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Nolan is dead.
Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Joining us tonight, an all-star panel, but first straight to a special guest, Josh Gill with the Cajun Navy, who, as you know, searched for Nolan's body.
Video man.
Josh, thank you for being with us.
I'm up the video.
The day unfolded when Nolan's body was found very bizarrely. You were there. I'm going to get to your trip to the coroner's office along with the family, but I want you to start at the beginning. What happened at the beginning of that day? We believe that Nolan likely died on July the 4th. Let's start with the day that Nolan's body was found and that you ended up at the coroner's office. Start at the beginning.
So early that morning, I deployed some resources. I deployed an aircraft, fixed-wing aircraft that wheels up at 0635, as you can see right there from the photographs. I was on my way to the Lake Mars boat launch. That's where the Tactical Operations Center was set up. And I received a phone call. Received that phone call from the Sheriff's Department that a body had been found. Didn't say who it was. I was probably 15 minutes out.
Now, I don't know his significance, but you know what I'm saying? We know Nancy she gonna, you know what I'm saying, coast us into it. Let's check it out.
From the location. I then received a phone call within minutes after the conversation from the sheriff's office from Nolan's mother, Christine. And she was frantic. You know, again, that mother's intuition, she knew what was going on. So I'm meeting at the boat launch. I was there about 15 minutes ahead of time.
Hold on just one moment. Hold on. For those of you just joining us, Josh Gill is with us. He is the United Cajun Navy Incident commander in the search for Nolan Wells, you stated that you received a phone call from Nolan's mother, Christine. You said she was frantic. What was she saying?
So again, I'm going to paraphrase. She said that they had found him, that they had found a body. My biggest concern at that exact moment was to make sure that she was safe, that she had, a safe way to get there, because it was the beginning of what's more than likely to be the worst day of her life. Again, so continuing
Hold on. Josh, you got me drinking from the fire hydrant here. Every word you're saying sparks 100 questions. So
Sure.
Nolan Wells' mother calls you. Okay. Where was she when she called?
She was en route to the boat launch as well. We were meeting there for the search.
Okay. Had she been told that a body had been found?
Yeah, when she called me, so we had earlier communication, but via text, when she called me, she told me that a body had been found. She had been notified by the sheriff's department.
Oh.
This game does not have energy limits. This game has no daily login streaks, no pay-to-win shop telling you to spend more. You build.
Gosh. No wonder she was frantic. So she calls you. She's just been told by the sheriff a body has been found. She calls you. You're going to the boat launch. What boat launch? Where?
That's the Lake Mars boat launch.
Why there?
So that's where the operation was set up. That's where the search operations, the tactical operations center was there. They had a mobile command unit, and the multiple entities and agencies were basing their operations out of there. So what it is a boat launch. Again, they could launch rather quickly. It's a protected area to launch and then make that run to Horn Island and the surrounding areas.
Okay. So you agreed with her. Did she ask you to meet at the boat launch?
Oh, she knew I was going to that boat launch, and she actually asked me early that morning, where we were going to meet. And I told her, here's the best place. Here's where the operation is beginning.
Okay.
It was a secured location by the sheriff's department. So, that's where they were running their operations on it. And that's a common practice.
Question. Do you know why Nolan's mother wanted you to go with her to Horn Island?
So we had communication. She called me, literally called me. We had a voice conversation that Sunday morning, about 7:30. She had called and asked for some assistance. After that phone call, I asked to memorialize all of our conversations so I could go back and look at information. And that's not uncommon for families to call us.
What kind of assistance did she need?
Find my son. There it is.
So she asked you to help find her son, that assistance. Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so she asked for that assistance, find my son, find Nolan. Started gathering information on who he is, who he was with, where he was. She made it very clear that he was with some friends, that they had been on Horn Island. So then I start launching resources immediately. And then after I launched the resources,
Hold on. Josh, what specifically did she say about him going to Horn Island with friends, if you can recall?
So she said that he went to Horn Island with friends. It's July 4th, and Horn Island's a location that's well known and well visited by people partying and hanging out for July 4th. It's a huge boating community, and that was the location where boats congregate and enjoy the 4th.
Okay, so she says he went to Horn Island on the 4th with friends. Got it. Okay. So you meet at the boat ramp. And when you first saw her, what was her demeanor?
So she came to me. She gets out of the vehicle, comes to me, gives me a big hug. Again, it's a mother who, her intuition is that her body was just found. So obviously sad.
According to what we learned, the moment she gets out of the vehicle, she runs straight to you and is hyperventilating.
Absolutely. She came straight to
what
me.
Happened?
I mean, 20 people. She gives me a big hug and starts crying. And look, I'm a softie. I started crying with her. And we literally sat in the parking lot on the ground in the gravel for probably 15 minutes. And we had some pretty deep discussions. She cried. I cried with her. And her husband was there as well. And I want to say this, that he's a very stoic individual. And he stood there with his hand on both of our shoulders. and was a part of everything. It was one of those moments you don't forget.
What was she saying? What was she saying? I mean, in a moment like that, how do you console a mother, Josh, that has been told by this disembodied voice on the phone, we found a body? I mean, what was she saying? Did she not want to believe it was Nolan? Did she believe it was Nolan? At this point, she had not ID'd a body yet. Nobody had identified that this was Nolan. Was she holding out hope? What was going on?
She knew. Again, mother's intuition is strong. It's very strong. In her heart, she knew. As far as what she was saying, why is always the question.
Good evening.
She asked God, why? And the rest of the conversations were just, memories real quick. And I'm assuming everything was just flashing in front of her eyes because, again, it's the beginning of the hardest time of her life, losing her son. I would say just to console her and to help anyone who possibly could.
What was the dad saying, if anything?
With over 30 different Nixons, it's easy to show off your sweet side with a
he was, he was really quiet. He was a quiet gentleman, but his physical presence afforded hers, made her feel safe. And I will say that, he stood there with us, on the ground. He's there. And his presence said a lot, and it meant a lot to his wife, to Miss Christine. And again, it's a tough time for him as well.
So she's crying. You state that she knows deep inside that that body is her boy, her son. You start crying. Did you remain standing in the parking lot or did you sit down?
No, ma'am. Like I said, when she first came to me, she gave me a big hug, and I wrapped my arms around her, and we sat down. We sat very quickly. We remained seating for quite some time to have that discussion, say a prayer. I did pray with her right there. Yes, ma'am. On the ground, in the gravel.
Y'all were sitting
right
on the.
Yeah.
And you said she was
I'm trying to figure out, like, what relevance does he have?
hyperventilating. You sit on the ground. I believe I heard you say that you started praying.
Always. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Was she praying that it wasn't Nolan?
So, and again, I'm paraphrasing and going from the best of my memory. It was more of a prayer for peace and comfort is what I did. And I always ask for that and then for answers, and I prayed Godspeed if it is Nolan, and, for the Lord to put his protecting hands over us and everything that we do, and to be with this family and this mother, especially during these hard times. It's an emotional time.
I cannot even imagine. I'm trying to get my head around the picture of you and Miss Christine sitting on the ground in a parking lot with her crying after just been told we found a body, and she knows it's Nolan.
Oh, sure.
I thank God that you were there. I thank God that you and Nolan's dad were there to help her. I don't know how she even stood up. How did you get her to stand up?
So it was about 15 minutes we were there on the ground, and a couple times the sheriff came up and he saw what was going on, and the sheriff's staff, and they understood that it was one of those moments where we need some space. She finally, and I hate to say she called her composure because it was an emotional time for me as well as the father, and we stood up and the sheriff came over and, he started discussing what the process would be. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
I don't know how she even stood up. Okay, so you help her up off the ground. Yeah. Okay, then what happens?
So a family and friends started to arrive, and the security let them in, and the sheriff came up, and the sheriff again, he had to help deliver that news, that a body was found and do his formal, and I hate to say notification because at this point he didn't say if it was Nolan or not, but he explained that a body was found and where they would be bringing that body to. And from there, the family gathered, and it was, I'd say, a matter of 15, 20 minutes maybe. we were then escorted. Christine asked me to accompany them to the coroner's office, which I was extremely honored to do so. And then the sheriff's department escorted us to that coroner's office.
Can I ask you something, Josh? When the sheriff came over, was it the sheriff or a deputy sheriff?
It was the sheriff.
The sheriff.
He
comes over
Yes,
and formally tells her what she was already told on the phone. A body has been found. Had the body already been taken to the coroner's office?
It was en route. So he was en route to the coroner's office, and he told us, he told Christine, here's what's going on. Here's where you need to go for further information. And again, extremely professional, extremely polite. And the biggest word I can use was he was compassionate. His staff was extremely compassionate. I can't take that away from him.
How was she at that moment? Was she just numb? Did she ask questions, or did she just stand there and take it? What was her response to the sheriff coming over face to face telling her we found a body? Because, a lot of times, this from all of the bodies that you have helped recover. Guys, joining me is Josh Gill. He's our special guest tonight with the United Cajun Navy. He's the incident commander, and he was in on the search for Nolan from the beginning. And he went to the coroner's office along with the family, along with the mother and the father. So when the sheriff was, I guess, formally delivering this to her, a lot of people, when they hear it on the phone, they don't want to believe it. I didn't when it happened to me. I thought, did I get that wrong? So he comes up and tells her to her face, and there's no way to mistake what he's saying. He's right there in front of her. How did Miss Christine respond?
Just as any parent would respond. Tears, shock, disbelief, I think are some good words. But again, I don't want to take away from the compassion and the professionalism of the sheriff's department at that point. And there were more people coming up, right? And at that point, the sheriff had conversation with the mother again, and the family, and just explained the process on what was going to happen next as far as where Nolan was going. And then moving from there. But I do want to add that, during these conversations, I reiterated to the mother and, Mr. Elmore, that Nolan will be treated with the utmost dignity and respect through the process. I wanted to explain that because that's something that parents always need to hear. Family members, that their loved one will be treated with dignity and respect.
So you guys make it to the coroner's office. What happens when you get to the coroner's office and Nolan's body is already there?
Correct. So we go to the coroner's office, we sit down. The coroner, he comes in, rather quickly, 10, 15 seconds once the table was filled with all the people, family members, friends, myself.
What table? Were you in a conference room?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A conference room
gosh.
table.
At the medical examiners or coroners, everything is so sterile. And everyone I've ever been to.
So this was like an office conference room. You walk right in the door and there it was. Didn't really have that feeling of a coroner's office, if that's fair to say. More like a business office conference room. He walks in, very polite gentleman, very professional, well-spoken, soft-spoken as well. And, basically said that, they found a body, and from initial appearance, he identified him as Nolan. He did want to take a DNA swab or get a DNA sample from the family just for, further confirmation and for, I guess, record keeping, whatever it was. But then he also, she asked about the condition, and he went into, there were no immediate signs of foul play. Okay. To me, again, my opinion in hearing this is, no signs of blunt force trauma, or any, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, any, signs of foul play, what we would consider that.
Well, I guess they hadn't seen that big red mark on the back of his occipital yet, underneath the skin. And I take it at this juncture.
And I don't even think they really gonna ever find out what this is.
Josh, his throat had not been dissected to look for potential subcutaneous bruising. So
Sure.
you're telling me that from a cursory look at Nolan Wells's body, there was no sign of foul play, such as a stab wound or a bullet wound or bruises, deep gouges on the head. That, in my experience, having tried so many homicide cases, I cannot count them, is what you get from a cursory look at a body.
Julie, what
Would
up?
you agree?
Boy?
So correct. I'm not a medical examiner nor a coroner. I have gathered information and heard multiple people speak on that, especially about the red spot, right? We'll quote unquote call it the red spot. And as I appreciate that may be pooling or whatever, it could possibly be cellular decomposition. Again, I'm not a medical examiner or a coroner, but I do know what the coroner said at that immediate, that first meeting with him.
Let's get back to what happened in that conference room. So you're there, the mom's there, the dad's there, the coroner comes in, very calm, very soft-spoken, and tells Miss Christine that he believes it's Nolan based on physical appearance and description. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What was her reaction? Because if it were me,
Again,
I would have been holding out. It's not him. It's not him. It's somebody that looks like him. I don't believe it's him. He's out there. If I can just get out of here, I can go find him. What was her reaction?
Again, it was quiet and it was a very emotional time for the family as well. I personally believe at that point she accepted that it was him.
Why do you say that? You must have observed something that makes you say that.
Again, it just actions, not denial, not beating on the table. It's not him. It's not him. Let's go. Let's keep looking. And her being in the medical profession as well as I believe a nurse practitioner. I think I will never say the word accept. She understood that what was being told to her. Right. Yeah. I'm not a parent.
Still crying?
I don't have any. Absolutely. She still cries to this day. And look, so I want to make this very clear to everybody that I support Christine and what she's doing. There's not a playbook that's written for a grieving mother who doesn't know what happened to her son. And I truly hope and pray every day, as well as my organization does, that she finds peace and comfort and she's able to accept.
And you know what else, Josh?
Whatever the results are.
I don't know
Yes.
how this would have unfolded if it had not been for the United Cajun Navy. I'm just putting that out there. For some reason, y'all have been gotten so much hate, but you guys were out there at the get-go. You're the one that went with Miss Christine to the coroner's office. You were there. You're the one.
Okay, I see what Nancy doing. Nancy playing a little bit cleanup for the United Cajun Navy. Okay, I see.
One that helped her stand up off the ground when she was sitting on that pavement crying. That was you, United Cajun Navy.
Yes, ma'am.
I support her too. And my fondest dream is that we find out that this was an accident. But until we get to that point, this investigation must go on. So he comes in and tells her that. Then what happens?
This professional 32 terabytes SSD, capable of holding the entire collection of the New York Public Library, is something.
My bad, y'all.
So there were some questions, right? He asked the family if there was anything they needed to know. And I asked a question. And the question I asked was, can you please explain the process on where Nolan's going to go, what's going to happen from there? And he did. He explained that he would be going to the crime lab, I believe it was, on what was going on for further autopsy. Again, and I'm paraphrasing this. And we all understood it. We understood that what was going to happen, where it was going, and what would happen from there. Again, and I have to say this and reiterate this, that the family was in shock. I mean, it's horrible news to receive. I can't imagine it. I'm an empath, and I still can't possibly imagine how it feels to receive that information that your son is no longer here with a family, no matter what the outcome is. Here's the issue though, is that we have to be prepared to accept and understand what's told to us as far as results of, the grand jury or whatever it is. I want to make sure that people understand the prayers for peace and comfort are there daily for this family as well as the nation, because this is a hard time for the nation and Ocean Springs in particular.
What happened then? You asked about the procedure. Let me make sure I understand this. The coroner identified Nolan based on description, because I've seen a photo, which we have not shown, of Nolan's body where it washed up. Well, I say washed up. That's really a term of art. I don't know that he washed up. I don't know how his body got right there, because it seems to me it was half in the sand and half in the water, right? So I don't know how it got there. That said, he made this ID based on the description given to him of Nolan, but wasn't the actual ID made from dental records?
So I don't know. I don't know what the actual ID was made from, if it was from dental records or if it was a DNA swab. He did discuss collecting DNA with the mother before we left. I did not witness that.
Were you there when the DNA was collected?
I was not. I don't know how they caught it, how they got it. But it was a discussion. But again, the coroner was confident. His confidence level was high that was Nolan. And I think that's what Miss Christine wanted to do, or wanted to understand. And the reason being, I think that there's that professional courtesy of, understanding he's the coroner. She is a nurse practitioner, and he wouldn't tell her those things if it was not in his heart.
So now I want to know that. So did they actually let her see the body? Like, was she able to really, because that's something too that I haven't heard, or but I know, usually when stuff like this happens, they call a relative and they actually let you see the body. So I mean, the way they talking, it sounds like she didn't even get a chance to see the body. It sounds like somebody just told her it was him, and they identified him from maybe however they identified him, and just told her that was her son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Like, did she ever really, when it first happened, get a chance to see him? This is just strange, man. Like, this guy, I know a lot of people getting tired of it, and the rhetoric and the allegations and the speculations and, the hoopla around it. But man, we gotta keep pushing this shit. Something gotta give, man. You feel me? I don't know if they need to bring in some outside or some private investigators or whatever or something, but man, something's gotta give. Man. Something gotta give. And with all this the autopsies and shit, man, it's man, with the grand jury, and we gotta wait for this and we gotta wait for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's and I don't want to say that's alarming, because again, we got to understand law. I keep telling y'all, understand this law, know how this law works. And every state governs their own, ability to do whatever the fuck they want to do. You feel me? Let's get back to Nancy.
Reported the questioning of Josh Gill, incident commander at United Cajun Navy, with Miss Christine Nolan's mother at the time she was taken to the coroner's office. Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, very quickly, wasn't Nolan identified through dental records? That's a yes, no, please.
Yes, ma'am. He was identified with dental records.
To Jeff Gentry joining us. Jeff, thank you for waiting so patiently. Forensic certified bloodstain pattern analyst, crime scene analyst, death investigator, author of Forensic Science. Jeff, why did they have to use dental records to identify Nolan Wells's body?
Whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or need
so if they had to use some dental records, 9 times out of 10, I don't think she even got to see her son. That's crazy.
Nancy, usually dental records are used when other forms of identification cannot be utilized. So the first thing that we always try to do is to visually identify somebody. And if you have family there or friends or an ID, something to reference to visually identify the person, then that is the first step. So just getting a general idea of who they are. Then you want to move to a scientific form of identification. And that is something based on a scientific discipline. So there is proof that it is the person when it goes to court, or additional questions are asked later. Your first form of scientific identification is fingerprints. That's always going to be the easiest, and fastest. And if he had an ID or driver's license, then there should be a fingerprint on file to be able to identify this person rather quickly. However, in this case, if he had been deceased for a day or two before he was found, then forms of scientific identification like fingerprints or even like a visual identification may not necessarily be available. So in those scenarios, then you move to alternate forms of identification like dental records. So that you would have to get the person's dental records from when they were alive to compare them against dental records taken when they're deceased at the autopsy. The last form of identification that's used, which is the most expensive and most time consuming, would be DNA. However, if you're going to take this case to court and it's going to be tried like a homicide, then you would probably want to use a form of identification like DNA because it's much more solid. You can verify with percentages how likely it is that the person is who you believe they are. So that's why dental records were most likely used in this case versus something simple and fast like fingerprints or visual identification.
Jeff Gentry can be found at evidenceoverassumption.com. Jeff, my takeaway from what you just said is they could not make a visual identification and they could not use fingerprints. You said those were the first two choices, then dental, then DNA. Why would they not be able to make a visual ID?
I'm assuming because he was outside and in the elements for a day or so. It's hot, it's July, it's very warm weather. However, in most cases where I have seen drownings where the person is underwater for a period of time, their body is pretty well preserved. Unless we're talking about like multiple days, weeks that this person is underwater, usually the water is cooler temperature. And if that person is face down in the water or completely submerged, their body is pretty well preserved until they surface. Usually a body after a couple of days surfaces. So I'm really surprised that he was on the shore. I've never personally investigated a drowning case where a person just ends up on the shore, especially if there's not a strong current or waves. Usually in bodies of water, the person will stay in pretty much the location where they go underwater if it's.
That's why they say them boys might have came back and dropped their ass off, and he wasn't always there because you know the what you call it and then here we go now here we go because just listening to him. And I remember earlier on the previous episode, I told y'all like, man, when that letter came out about how the young lady was saying, or whoever wrote the letter, I don't know if it was a young lady or not, but somebody wrote a letter saying that, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, they people had some property and they had to put them somewhere to try to keep them from decomposing, but it was hot, so he started decomposing fast because they had him out already. Man, it's and again, I ain't listen. I'm not saying any of this is true, but I'm just putting pieces of the puzzle together from the letter and what he's saying and shit like that. Again, we don't know these allegations, but I didn't know that she didn't get a chance to see, you know what I'm saying, her son's body, or she couldn't identify him. They had to do it from dental records. That's crazy.
Witnessed. They don't usually move around much after they have submerged or gone underwater. So to me, it's very concerning that he was on the shore or that his body surfaced that quickly. But that's what I am guessing is why they couldn't do an immediate visual identification with the family or even fingerprints. So I would really like to know more about the condition of the body. That's what I am assessing as a death investigator when I respond to a scene. So there should be a death investigation report from a death investigator who has experience looking at bodies and has experience examining these type of things to show exactly what his condition was when he was found. And if the body is decomposed more than what you would normally expect in a drowning case, that should be a big red flag. That's something that you definitely need to look into further.
So you're saying, let me follow up on what you just said. You find it odd that he was quasi on the shore. You also stated that location where the body is found is typically where they went under. You also said that the body must have been too decomposed to make a facial ID. I did not hear an explanation as to why fingerprint ID was impossible.
Fingerprint identification would be impossible if the hands were dried out to an extent where they can't be fingerprinted. Sometimes people that are underwater, or if the hands are underwater, the skin, just like if you're in the bathtub for a prolonged period of time, the skin ends up looking the same way. It just gets kind of wrinkled, and it's very hard to get a usable or workable fingerprint in those scenarios. So one scenario would be the body is too decomposed to get a fingerprint or a visual identification. And then the alternate scenario is the body or the hands were exposed to the water too long to where they just are not able to get a good workable print. So those are the different possibilities. But again, his position at the edge of the bank or partially in the water, that's really concerning because there's tons of people around that area. If he was in that position or on the shore decomposing for a day or so, why did nobody see him? Those would be my type of questions that I would ask if I were a death investigator responding to this scene.
Jeff, I'm looking right now at the photo of his body. And it's about, the beach is flat. And I would say it's about 3 to 4 feet from where there's nothing but sand, no water. It looks like it's at just as the water is starting, like you could walk in it very easily and your ankles may not even get wet. He's not out in the water at all.
This is what would crawl out of you if you drank 2 tablespoons of this disgusting African herb every day for 2 weeks. After your
That don't mean you can't get out though, Nancy. What I do?
He's on the beach and on wet sand. That's the way to put it. It's wet sand. He's not out in the water, Jeff Gentry. What does that mean, if anything?
That's really abnormal. I would have a ton of questions in that case. I would wonder if there's no waves, no strong current, why is that body up on a shore? How did it get there? And just like when we were looking at blood evidence or other forms of evidence, if something is in a certain position within a scene, you have to question how it got there. I have investigated a lot of deaths, bodies in canals, rivers, lakes, large bodies of water, never really near the ocean to where you would expect somebody to wash up to shore. But in these cases, even though there's strong current, waves, large bodies of water, I've never really seen bodies up on a shore, especially up out of the water enough to where they could decompose significantly to where they can't be identified or can't be fingerprinted. So that would be a very big question that I would have in this case is, with the absence of waves, with the absence of a strong current, how in the world did this 19-year-old man end up on shore out of the water?
Josh, I'm going to pick back up with you and Nolan's family at the coroner's office.
He's
But
a professional, right?
You disagree with Jeff's characteristic. Explain.
Wind, wave, tides, currents. If you look, there's also there's some pictures, some aerial pictures that show driftwood way on the beach. Those 4 things are what impacted, as I appreciate, where Nolan ultimately ended up. If you look in one of those pictures, ma'am, a wave is about to come right over and crest right near where the body's at. So that shows that there is some wave actions and some currents. The winds, the waves, the tides, the currents have a huge impact on, anything that's put into that water. It's known as the washing machine. It's a high tide, high current area. So that was the first things that I looked at whenever I saw that picture. And that is one of those pictures that I showed to the sheriff immediately as I received it. The stuff that's dark in that picture right there, I believe that's debris, and that debris could have easily or was washed up on that island. And if you look at the picture as well into the water, the white is that's wave action, either from wind, tides, or currents. So, and it's going towards the beach. When you walk down the beach and you find shells and you find, the bottle with the message in it, it gets washed up on the beach.
Okay, so I think in simple terms, you're saying you believe the body was washed up from the water to that location. Okay, and Gentry is saying typically a body is found where it goes in the water. So you're right. Tidal experts, water experts will have to determine that. I want to get back to you at the coroner's office. A dental exam was used to make the ID, which leads me to another question. If his face and his fingertips were so decomposed that they can't make an ID, then how do they know there was not bruising or there was not skin marks on his face, on his hands? That's a whole nother thing. You're not a medical examiner. I get it. But that's a question that needs to be answered back to you. The family, Miss Christine, the dad, were asked to provide DNA. Okay. You did not see the DNA taken, probably a buccal swab. What happened then?
So if I may add one thing, is I think that'd be a great question to ask the coroner is, how did he identify? Because he was pretty sure, in his best professional opinion, that was Nolan. And maybe he wanted the dental records just out of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, isn't that one of the most definite ways to identify? Sure, and out of courtesy to the family, let's do it the easy way for you as well as to get the dental records. So moving forward, man, we left. We went to the house. There was a gathering at the house, and the people started to pour in, and it was a very emotional time. Again, the family, the friends and family that were there were extremely welcoming to myself. Todd Terrell also came he came within, 30 minutes. We stayed there for about 30 minutes. We had conversation with the mother, Mr. Elmore, and some of the other family members, and discussed a couple things with them. GoFundMe being one of them, and we wanted to assist with that as far as the development and helping to spread the word on that piece, as well as offer our services. And anything that we could possibly do to assist this family in this time of grief, we're there for them. Still there today. Anything that they possibly need, we're here to provide. If it's a shoulder to cry on, we're there. If she wants to get in an airplane, or if she wants to get in a boat and go back out to Horn Island, we're there. We got it for her. She's been offered those services. We just want her to know, and the family to know, that we're there. We're 110% supportive, because again, there's no playbook on how to grieve the loss of a child.
I'm 52 years old. Last month, I caught my wife crying in the bathroom because I couldn't.
I guess some damn batteries for this mouse.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Every day, living expenses keep climbing higher and higher, and high credit card interest is not making life any easier. If you are a homeowner, your home equity is really your best financial tool. American Financing can help you consolidate high interest credit card debt with a very strong chance of an interest rate hike. Yes, hike. This September, waiting to act could cost you thousands of dollars, and with rates in the fives, there's really no better time to find out how much you could save. Ditch the 20% interest rates on credit cards. It's insane. American Financing borrowers save an average of $800 a month. There are zero upfront fees, and you may even delay up to 2 mortgage payments. Dial 866-888-0344. Repeat, 866-888-0344, or just go online to americanfinancing.net/Nancy. Repeat, americanfinancing.net/Nancy, and good luck. Josh, at that time when you were at Nolan's home after leaving the coroner's office with the family, was there any concern that there had been foul play?
It really didn't come up. It just didn't come up. I think that whole grieving process, and it hit her hard when they got back to the house. At what point did potential foul play, or the thoughts of foul play, or the accusations come into mind? I don't know.
I think you're probably right that at that time she walks in, Josh, and she comes into a home where she knows her son will never be back in his room ever again. And when you see all the relatives and neighbors come in, it gets real. It's real.
It does.
And the pictures of Nolan are still
real.
Out. I mean, all the family photos are there, and I don't know when it hits you that that's all you have going forward. That's it. Photos and memories. Photos and memories.
So, ma'am, if I can say one thing.
Please do.
I hear the emotion in your voice, right? I can hear it in your voice, and that's a sympathetic emotion for that mother, knowing that she has, at that point when she walked through that door, it became real, and it became the hardest day, the beginning of the hardest time of her life. Again, I pray every day for the peace and comfort. But ma'am, seeing that coming from you, and understanding the emotion behind it, and what this lady's going through, and what this family's going through, and what the community's going through, it's very important. It's important to know that there's a lot of people that are extremely upset, and they lost a community member who was loved and cherished. So, it's a tough time for everybody.
Josh, did you speak with Nolan's mother again after that day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We've had numerous conversations.
Regarding?
So we had conversation about a forensic pathologist, a secondary forensic pathologist. She wanted one. I gave her a recommendation that I got from somebody. She also discussed an attorney. She sent those messages as well. But the majority of our conversations, man, to be honest with you, were I'd send something to her, keep your chin up and your chest out and just know that you've got a lot of people that love and support you. I wanted to give her words of encouragement because I know how important that is to a family, but also let her know that if there's any questions that she has, that I could possibly take some of that weight off of her shoulders or off of her family's shoulders to help assist, that I'll do it for her. And we're here for her.
Did she have questions?
It's not really, because she got an attorney rather quickly. Which is fine, whatever, that's on them. Again, the conversation turned into, very cordial. Thank you. Thanks for the prayers. Now, we did have a conversation at one point, ma'am, about another young man that I was looking for, Jadarius Miniweather, and I brought her up to speed on that case. And she said, and she told me explicitly, please give the prayers, our prayers to the family of Jadarius, which that was very important as well, because as a grieving mother, she wanted to express her concern and her prayers to another family who lost a young child.
Joining us tonight, special guest, Cajun Navy Incident Commander Josh Gill. If you know or think you know anything about the death of this young man, Nolan Wells, dial 228-769-3063. There's a $125,000 reward for information regarding what happened on Horn Island. We remember American hero trooper First Class Kevin Miller, Connecticut State Police, killed in the line of duty, leaving behind his grieving children, Ryan and Sarah. American hero trooper First Class Kevin Miller. Thank you to our guests, but especially to you for being with us. Nancy Gray signing off for tonight, but I'll see you tomorrow night as we continue our search for justice for Nolan Wells. Good night, friend.
As we continue for justice for Nolan Wells. Good night, friends. Look at you, man. Hey, Nancy on their ass, boy. I wasn't, man. That motherfucker, that Cajun Navy. At first, I'm like, who the fuck is dude? Then when she was like with the Cajun Navy dude, I'm like, what is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about this Cajun Navy. But I mean, he right though, man. The ties, the ways, there's a lot of shit that could, you know what I'm saying? That could, be the reason why. You know what I'm saying? But again, like the other brothers say, you feel me? Like I need to know, like, you gotta come on, man. Like, let's be for real about this shit. Bodies just don't be like that. You feel me? If I was investigating this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would really, you know what I'm saying? But again, man, hey, we not professionals. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what's what. All we doing is just watching, man. That's all we can do is watching. Just see what the fuck go on. All we can do. Hold on, man. Speaking of Tatum. Hey, Hurricane. Hey, man, look, listen, don't be a hater all your life, man. Listen, man, you know my voice is melodious, man. Look, man, it ain't gotta be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You was talking about old Lord to Tatum. You was talking about Tatum probably. No, you know what I'm saying? My bad.
Yeah,
I know my voice.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I know my shit melodious. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? I know my voice is melodious. I'm sad. Let's see what Officer Tatum got to say.
Chuck,
well, I'm used to that.
Well, I cannot wait to hear what he has to say, and they still throwing them things on the court, which is insane. Baltimore back to school chaos. Instead of y'all worried about what my wife looked like, some of y'all need to be worried about what your community look like. Jelly Roll takes a cheap shot at President Donald Trump on Jimmy Kimmel's show, which was the most outlandish, embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life. And if I'm following Jelly Roll, I'm unfollowing him today. Before we get to any of that, we have to talk about D.L. Hughley's racist list because he's a flaming idiot. And you should hear some of the stuff people have been telling me about DL. And I think his name is DL for a reason, if you know what I'm saying.
And that's facts, Hurricane.
Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life. Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose. And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win. And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you. This is the time to be more bold than ever before. We're all Americans. We should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country.
The Asian community.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the Officer Tatum Show. Welcome back. Shout out to the members. Thank you guys for being members. Thank you all for all the new members that have just joined our membership program. We made it very simple. You can join at $2.99. You can go to $49.99, whichever way, whichever level you want to be at. We accept that. If you can't join, you don't have the financial means to. We love you anyway. Y'all all you're like your kids. I don't have a favorite. I love all of y'all the same. I appreciate you. Make sure you download my podcast and Substack. I got to get my Substack numbers up. I was talking to Jeff Mead, and he got like 200,000 people on this Substack. I got to talk to you, Grant, after this. We got to get our Substack numbers up. I think we can do it. And if you are interested in Substack, come on and join me if you already following other people on Substack. Let's get to this list. Now, y'all see me have to come out at D.L. Hughley and that fake pastor just the other day because they went on a rampage to talk about my wife and all this other stuff, and I defended my wife. And everybody in the comment section that got a pair, they know that a man ain't gonna let nobody disrespect his wife. All right, now we got past that one. D.L. Hughley and the rest of the stew-head melanated people who are the most ignorant, dumb people in the world. And I always preface this because people are too stupid to understand what I'm saying. But I'm talking about the ignorant ones, not the rational, decent folk, work hard every day, build companies, build wealth, add value to this country and their families. I'm not talking about those wonderful, amazing black people. I'm talking about these stew-head idiots. Now, here's a list, and Ari Spears with his sorry self, two washed-up comedians. This is what they had. They wrote this list. Ari Spears shared this list with me. Look, this is what white America is. Y'all ain't never gonna be nothing in life being this stupid. Let's go down the list. One by one, starting with Texas Roadhouse employees spitting in black people's food. Roll the clip. Clip one, you got it. Roll it.
And there's a viral post raising many questions for customers and getting a response from the company. I took a closer look at what's behind it. It started with a screenshot, a Facebook post shared across social media, making a serious claim about how some black customers' food was allegedly being treated. The post claimed members of a Facebook group called White and Proud were discussing intentionally tampering with food served to black customers, and the original Facebook post appears to have since been deleted. And so far, no verified evidence connecting the claims to a Texas Roadhouse employee, but screenshots of the post and
Time out. Yeah, bought the boy. Let me just explain this. As you can hear, there is no evidence. This is a post.
Hey, get this goofy at, because I heard this shit too, man, about white folks spitting your food and shit at the Texas Roadhouse. I've been hearing about that, man. That's just disgusting, bro. You feel me? That's why that's why, you know what I'm saying? I don't really go out to eat too much like that sometimes, man, because I be thinking like that. You feel me? Like, that's just some disgusting shit, bro. Like, come on, man. This is what y'all do, bro. Y'all
be scared to talk crazy to folks. I be scared to talk crazy to folks. Like,
you don't go nowhere. This motherfucker here talking about something. You don't even go nowhere, man.
Nigga, shut up, man.
You don't even go nowhere, man. Get your ass out of here. But for real though, you know what I'm saying? You got, like real shit. Like when you go to like these little fast food joints, man, you get to talking crazy, you get to doing all type of shit, man. You don't know what the especially when you can't see them make your food. Hell yeah, man. You better be cool with these people you feel. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of all that though, bro, you shouldn't even have to worry about a motherfucker doing no goofy, nasty ass. That is just nasty, bro. To even do some things like that. But listen, I don't even know if it's true, but let's
alleging that there's some white group talking about what they do in black people's food. There's no evidence of that post. And this is just black people talking about what some post that allegedly exists that there's no evidence of. Since this has come out, DL and these other stew heads will make y'all believe that somehow there's verifiable evidence that this is happening. There is no actual evidence. It's not tied to any one employee. It's not tied to any one Texas Roadhouse. There is no police report and no investigation being had. Just black folks online being victims talking about Texas Roadhouse. Let her finish. And hey, don't get mad at this young lady. She's trying her best. She did say X. She said X. I don't know. It's in our DNA. The smoke alarm and the word X, we can't get it out of our DNA. Roll the clip.
And videos talking about it continue to circulate, and customers are weighing in. Some say the allegations have them questioning whether they'll eat at the restaurant again. Others are asking for proof and questioning whether the original post is even legitimate. I took a trip to the local Texas Roadhouse here.
People are saying that the allegations are none of them. Not one person in the post
they watched the movie,
said that they went to Texas Roadhouse
what's going on.
and somebody did some of their food. Not one person in the post, according to this news outlet. Let her finish.
In Abilene, Texas, to see what they have to say about some of the allegations. I waited to speak with the manager and asked about the allegations. The manager declined to speak on camera, instead referring me to the corporate's company office for a response. I also asked the restaurant's host what business had been like today. He told me it wasn't very busy, describing it as, quote, pretty slow. But whether that's out of the ordinary for a Monday is unclear. And while the allegations are getting plenty of attention online, nothing in the viral post identifies the Abilene location or any specific Texas Roadhouse location. As the conversation grew online, Texas Roadhouse responded. On Sunday, August 23rd, the company posted an official statement saying, "We are aware of the video that is being shared with an accusation that has been made toward our restaurants. We believe it to be completely unfounded, and we take every accusation towards our brand seriously." They said, "We are investigating this alleged behavior and remain committed to treating every guest with respect, dignity, and the legendary service they deserve."
What you pointing for?
So on DL Hughley's number one on his list is this Texas Roadhouse incident that don't exist. It does not exist. Now, here are other people who I think fall victim to the plantation mindset that somehow accusing Texas Roadhouse with no evidence. Here is one, and we're going to play two clips of this, and it's going to blow your socks off. Listen to what this woman say, and I want you to pay attention as they pan the table.
Now again, I don't know.
Look at who's sitting at the table with them.
But you know, much about
when they tell you that they're putting something in the food at Texas Roadhouse, believe them. This is me and my daughters and her boyfriend eating there, having a good time. And as soon as I finished eating, I went to the car. My eyes started to swell up, and I had to be rushed to the hospital. They said it was some type of allergic reaction. Now I know what it was.
It was allergic.
Hey man, did slavery mess us up?
What the hell is he talking about?
Did it? I don't believe that it did, because we had a lot of great, successful black people that have come from slavery. But I wonder what's happening to black people in their mind. Why is this woman and her daughter is dating a white man? They all went to Texas Roadhouse together.
What that got to do?
This woman can't just say something. I got an allergic reaction to something. That why is it got to be pertaining to something involving race when you have no evidence that it's race related? You didn't show the manager.
Hey, first of all, he's a goofball. The lady didn't say shit about race. She said they put something in the goddamn food and she had to get rushed to the hospital because she started swelling up. That's all the fuck she said. Now, if you play anything further to the clip or whatever, because again, I didn't hear her say shit about no race. All she said is they put something in the food and she swelled up. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? What's wrong with black people? That's, first of all, that's just one individual. And every black motherfucker ain't online talking about this. I only mention this shit because he just mentioned it, because I had heard about it, but I didn't deem it worth, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was true or not, like, I don't want to talk about that shit just wow. Like, this
Didn't
guy,
show the person that was serving you, so we don't even know if that person is black. And why can't you just be normal? Why your daughter dating a white boy, and you want to make it a big stuff about race? Why can't y'all just be normal?
what? First of all, she didn't say shit about race, and what the fuck do her daughter dating a white man have to do with her getting sick?
All right, here go another. I want to say something about it, but I ain't gonna do it.
And I ain't never eating at Texas Roadhouse again or Logan's Roadhouse. Y'all got me up. Y'all got me up. That was all I needed to hear. Didn't I just make a video saying how they didn't want us in their establishments? They don't want us in their establishments. We need to be only supporting black-owned restaurants, period. I'm not even eating nowhere.
All right,
if the food ain't...
just know, you can tell by the energy. She's finna continue to say something stupid for 1 minute and 22 more seconds. But let me just stop her in her tracks. No pun intended. I want to stop her in her tracks. I'm joking. I can't tell jokes and y'all get mad at me. You do the black women. I'm telling the joke, okay? All right, so I'm gonna stop her in her tracks. I agree with her on 2 things she said. The 2 points she made, I agree 100%. Y'all need to stop complaining about these establishments and go shop at black-owned businesses and go support black-owned businesses. Why y'all even going to Texas Roadhouse or any of these other places so you can complain? I know why. Y'all know why, but y'all don't want to be honest. You don't want to go to these black establishments because many of them don't do good service and they're not cooking the food and they're not consistent. That's why you go into Texas Roadhouse. That's probably one of the most consistent, what you call it, a steakhouse in the entire country in history. Okay, and the second.
So that shit don't be true. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, a lot of times when you go to these black restaurants, you might not get the great customer service, but sometimes you do. But the food is most definitely better. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, because I eat out a lot. Don't get me wrong, everything ain't perfect and some shit do be nasty. But even when you go to these high-end, high-price ass places, bro, they do be snotty as hell, you feel me? Whether you can pay for the motherfucking meal or not. You know what I'm saying? They not like, and the food be fucking horrible. Like he need to stop. And I eat out. When I say I eat out, I go places. I eat out. I ain't talking about no $50, $60 ass meal. I'm talking about a couple $100 for me. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just me. You know what I'm talking about? That's a steak. You know what I'm saying? We got the a la carte. Bill might be $6. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But don't get me wrong. To each his own, because I know everybody have their own experiences. But bro, you just gonna sit there and say, like, no. There's plenty of black folk, you know what I'm saying, where you can go eat at their establishment, man. You get great customer service. You get great food. You know what I'm saying? This guy here, man. I ain't know this
nigga hate his own kind, bro.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that, and I don't think that's what it is.
I'm saying.
I mean, listen, and you know, bro. I listen. You got all right to say that. You feel me? If that's what you feel and how you believe, you see it. You know, cool. You know, I ain't saying you're wrong. I just know I won't take that stance about that. You feel me? You know, again, I reached out to Officer Tatum. I want to sit down. I want to have a discussion with him. Hopefully, he reach out. You feel me? I think I can break the internet with this interview. You feel me? So hopefully he reach out to me because I really do want to understand and really do want to talk to him. And, you know what I'm saying? I you know, let's see if he open up and, you know, give us an insight to his upbringing and his lifestyle and, you know, him being jumped in as a Hoover 5 Deuce Crip and all this shit and what led him to, you feel me, being an asshole in high school and then going to alternative school and changing. It's like, you feel me? I want to talk to the man because something happened along the way, you feel me? And he just ain't divulging it all. But you know what I'm saying? Even if I can't get it all, I want to see if I can get a piece of it.
The thing she said is that they don't want us there. I can't verify that they don't want you there, but I do have items of evidence that may suggest why they might not want you there. Roll the clip.
See, again, that's not her. So you showing a clip of somebody else saying that's why they don't want, like, and don't get the fuck, man, stop it, man. No, bro, because I done been in restaurants, bro, and white folk act a motherfucking fool when they get drunk, bro. Stop this shit, bro. Like he crazy, bro. I'm not saying now, mind you, yes, this shit here is a fucking 1,000,000% sad that we don't know how to just like let shit go, bro. Y'all out eating. Sit y'all motherfucking there, men included, bro, because you know, fellas do, but come on, man, y'all women, bro, like y'all whatever it wasn't that motherfucking serious, bro. It don't never be that serious, bro. A lot of this shit be senseless, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this shit be senseless, bro. This shit bring tears to my motherfucking eyes, bro. This shit hurt when folks be bro, cause this how they see us, cause this how the fuck we at. But not everybody. You feel me? But that one time, you know, they got the fucking ability to make it seem like it's everywhere. It's at all times. It's every motherfucker that you see that look like this. You know what I'm saying? Just on one clip.
Yeah, but like you said though, man, it's a white woman do that. A white woman do that every other day, man. I see it. I mean, I see it on camera. I see it on video, bro. It ain't just us. Like you said, on.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, y'all. So this is one. Next one. Let's go to the next one. Just tearing it up. All right. All I hear that dude in the background, ooh, this is crashing everywhere. And I swear, I can go and find 15 other videos like this. So maybe, just maybe, that's maybe not. Why don't y'all take responsibility at some point?
Oh,
if you want to attach yourself to every black person, then you need to take responsibility for this crazy stuff they be doing. If you want to be an individual, be an individual. But y'all don't want to be individuals. You want to attach yourself to the lowest common denominator of the.
Now, what I will say, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, so I'll stand up here and say I'll take accountability for the motherfuckers that I can fool. You feel me? And when I say take accountability, to speak out against. You feel me? Like again, like I say, that shit is tragic, bro. You shouldn't motherfuckers should conduct themselves like that, right? But people do. But don't get up here and make it seem like it's only black folks that act like this.
Facts.
That's the narrative that you trying to paint. I don't give a fuck if you find 100 clips of motherfuckers. Bro, stop that shit. Okay, yeah, you might find more clips of black folks than you find of white folks, but everybody do this shit, bro. You can find a person of all shades and colors and nationalities acting a goddamn fool somewhere doing some crazy shit, bro. I didn't think it all the time. Come down here, come to Chicago, downtown Chicago when it's lit and the motherfuckers out there at one of them events and they drunk and they wilding. So all the fuck white folks do is fight. Stop the traffic. All type of, bro, all right. It might not be with the youth, with the gang, with the symbol. They do that shit too. But you know what I'm saying. But again, you know, people listen, man. Don't put that narrative on just us, bro. And that's what he's doing, man. All that, man. Yeah, don't get me wrong, man. When I say my people, bro, I'm head first for my people. And don't get me wrong, some of the shit my people do is fucked up. Ain't no more fucked up than them hunkies lynching us back. I mean, I'm sorry. Ain't no difference than when, you know, when we used to get you know what I'm saying, hung back in the day by people of different, you know what I'm saying,
you right though, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what's the difference in them actions and the way we act right here? But that shit was justifiable. That shit they don't get talked about. That shit was the greatest events in history, right? Fuck out of
the black community, and then get mad at people if they don't like that. All right, let's get to the next one. Here we go. What's on the list? 600,000 black women pushed out of the workforce since 2025. Explain that. He can't explain it. Last time I did a debate, one of these knuckle draggers was in there talking about Doge. Well, if they get rid of government jobs, This is why y'all stupid and you need to read Thomas Sowell book. If they're getting rid of government jobs because of Doge, and it just so happened to be a lot of black women working in those jobs, and they lose those jobs, hey, dummy, disparities don't mean discrimination. Just because you're disproportionately affected don't mean it's race-related. And it's probably about, I don't know if you do the math, it's about 20 million black women in America. And you're talking about 600,000 pushed out of work. What are the other, I don't know, 10 million that's working? Oh, but you don't want to talk about that. Last time I checked, allegedly, the black women are the most educated women in the country as far as getting degrees.
First of all,
I know a lot of times they ain't acting like it, but according to stuff that I've read, and I heard the person say that was a lie, but y'all push the narrative that they outworking black men.
See, and that's the thing, bro. And then you're gonna try to put it against the black man. No, they're the most educated species on the motherfucking planet Earth, regardless of what color, what nationality, whatever, man, woman, whatever the fuck. Don't throw up no fucking air quotes when you just talking about, for now, according to the stuff that you read. But when you suggesting books for people to read, it's okay. But now when there's some good speaking about them according to the source that you read in air quotes, you know what I'm saying? Black women are some of the educated, but they don't act like, man, this man here is off the chain, man. I fuck with him, though.
They got more degrees than black men. They doing all this stuff, but they having kids out of wedlock more than anybody else. But outside of that,
against the black man, this guy here. Man.
But you're crying about 600,000 jobs you claim they were forced out in 2025.
That ain't
Shut the front door and the back door.
So that ain't what they saying. So what they listen, and I'm not saying that this was a racial, you feel me, prone thing, but. Yeah, but I mean, shit. When shit like that happened, and you notice that everybody that got fired was a black woman, and everybody else still got their job. Shit, that shit looks suspicious. Even if it ain't, it just look like it. You know what I'm saying? Number 3, Nolan Wells for sure. Carmelo Anthony. Hey man. So a couple of them on these motherfucking lists I'm fucking with, but let's see how he responds.
Next one is Nolan Wells. We all know how that's going.
You know he fucking with
them. You know he gave their phone over. They have nothing to investigate at this point, as far as I know. And some of the little birdies that's flying through the air is dropping little leaflets. And it looked like this is probably going to be a drowning. And nobody's going to be arrested. Now, I don't know that for a fact. Let me not jump to conclusions. But what I can say is that Warren, Jax, and Morgan had nothing to do with Nolan's death. And the people that I've interviewed have been exonerated. As far as I know, and as far as they've been communicating with law enforcement, because they've not been indicted, they don't even have a search warrant.
How the fuck they been exonerated if they ain't never been put for? Wow, see, he telling it.
Their cell phones. They turned their cell phones over to the FBI voluntarily. Carmelo Anthony stabbed that boy in his heart, got convicted in the court of law. And then they tried to get even the judge recused himself. The new judge came in record time and decided there ain't no grounds for a new trial. And I'm telling you this, as sure as I'm sitting here today, they should be glad that Carmelo Anthony didn't get another trial. Because if his previous behavior was entered into evidence, the jury would be tainted as to who he really is as a person. And this is why they didn't put him on the stand, because he would have got grilled.
No.
Then
I mean, even
the
if
jury would have saw all that violent stuff he said, and they would have been more punitive towards him during sentencing.
I played that video the other day.
Okay, we got another one. Black lynching across the South. Tell me you stupid without telling me you stupid. Let's bring up a couple of the lynchings that they've been talking about. And shout out to my brother here, Gotham City. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for standing up for me, but also thank you for keeping it real and telling the truth. This is just a couple lynchings that they claim are being perpetuated by the white man. Roll the clip.
So listen, as a black man, I'm fully aware of the history of Mississippi and black people being hung in Mississippi, but I'm also a person of truth. And when you use a few of these kids' pictures to push a narrative, when you know the truth, it's nasty work. This is nasty work. Look.
This is why we can't do the independent thinking and the liberal and conservatorship, because liberal, conservative, they're killing black people.
Who the fuck is hanging these kids? Who's hanging these kids? And one thing's for sure, black people are damn sure not hanging themselves.
Time out. Black people aren't hanging themselves. Sorry for the curse words. We will fix it. But just so you know, we got so many clips doing. My team is running like chickens their head cut off. So just forgive us for that. But they say black people sure ain't hanging themselves.
Man, this guy here.
Are you sure, bro? When I was a cop, people, that's the way people decide to take their own lives, is through hanging themselves. Black people don't traditionally do that, but to act like black people never do that is a lie. And it's only a lie, or only you're perpetuating a lie because you want white people to be bad. Come on, put the clip on there.
Wow.
This is one of the young boys that got lynched.
59
p.m.
nigga.
Video shows the young man carrying an electrical cord walking towards the tree by himself.
The video appears to show him at the self-checkout purchasing the blue rope. It shows he paid $4.20 for it. You can then see him walk out of the store, and he walks across the parking lot to his truck and drives off.
Between 2:06 p.m. and 2:07 p.m., video captures the actual incident taking place. No one else is seen in the area when this incident occurred.
Here another one.
The family says that Trey's girlfriend at the time of his death provided investigators with suicidal text messages from him the evening before his body was found. So that's some information that we did not know about, you guys. We didn't know that he, was suffering from any kind of mental health or anything like that. We didn't know. This information wasn't out there. The message read that he was going to hang himself. Sophia Reed told the Mississippi Free Press on April 23rd. Sharon Candy Tillman confirmed that she had also seen the messages that her grandson had sent to his girlfriend threatening suicide, in addition to messages stating that he had made a previous attempt but failed. Candy added that in the messages, Trey's girlfriend had told him that she would call his grandmother. She said he normally would send those kinds of messages to her, and she would say, just go to bed and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Just go to bed. Wow. Like, still in the Black community, there's a stigma with mental health, and we don't ever talk about, like, hey, go see a professional, go see someone who can actually help you. We'll just go to bed, is what she told him, actually. Go to bed. His family says that the attorney who vowed a full investigation in early days has not spoken to them in 7 months. He also never gave them the final results of the independent autopsy he promised. Autopsy with funding from former NFL athlete Colin Kaepernick, Know Your Rights Camp Autopsy Initiative. More than 10 months later, Reed's family members say they feel that they've been abandoned by the advocates who pledged to stand at their side.
Okay, I can explain that. I'll interpret it for the family if they're watching me. They never really cared about your kid. They just can grift and make money off of what they thought was a lynching from a white person. They had every reason to believe and know that it wasn't a lynching from a white person, but they pushed it to raise the GoFundMe so you can give them 40% or whatever y'all giving them, that GoFundMe money, so they can get rich off the death of these black boys. But instead of people like D.L. Hughley standing up like real men and saying, how about we address the mental health issue in the black community? How about we come out and find out why these young men are killing themselves instead of trying to blame the white man? How about we figure out why are we beating up each other in Texas Roadhouse instead of a fake blog of white people spitting in their food or whatever they claim that has no substance or evidence? Why don't we talk about Nolan Wells and how great of a young man he was instead of trying to blame white boys for killing him, instead of trying to get to the bottom of what happened to him, like I did. They didn't. And Carmelo Anthony, how about we talk about conflict resolution?
You fucking up,
and trying to get young men to lower the temperature, man. You don't always got to be putting yourself in a situation where you get violent because you feel disrespected. That's why a lot of our brothers are in prison. This is why my cousin is in prison right now. He let his attitude or his anger get the best of him, ended up shooting people, and he shouldn't have been there, and he got sentenced to his daughter's whole life in prison. Hopefully he's going to get out soon, but he's done 15 years already because of anger management. How about we address that in our own community? How about we stop talking about white people when we're talking about black issues and just focus on what can black people do to better the community? All right, last one, which is the craziest one. Gary, Indiana. And he puts, which is 76% black, has been without power for 12 days, as if it's white people's fault. Let's look at the news report, and you will be amazed at who's running the power company and who's the city council and mayor of this mother freaking city. Roll the clip.
This morning, thousands of residents in Gary and parts of northwest Indiana still struggling without power after a violent storm ravaged the area 2 weeks ago today. Now, the governor calling for a state investigation.
It just is not conceivable in any way what is going on.
Mary Cinco now forced to stay at a city shelter, her home damaged by the storm, and with no electricity, caring for her health is impossible.
Without power, I can't take my breathing treatments.
Thousands left in the dark, including Regina Gary, still without power. She spent the past 2 weeks hunting for food and ice to keep her diabetic mother's medication cold.
That's scary for me because I don't want to make her sick. So it weighed on me pretty heavy.
Some fuming at utility company NIPSCO for not being able to restore power quickly enough and have filed a class action lawsuit. NIPSCO said the storm caused extensive damage, but that they remain committed to restoring power safely and as quickly as possible and will fully cooperate if an investigation is launched.
It's been extremely difficult, very frustrating.
Gary Mayor Eddie Melton has been pressuring NIPSCO to bring in more help to restore power at a faster pace.
I'm going to fight every single day to make sure that we rebound and we bring the needed resources to every single neighborhood.
And don't get me wrong, man.
Funny thing is, why they don't tell them in the news report that the lineman got shot at?
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, man, you know, people out of frustration, you know, we do tend to, you know what I'm saying, go out the deep end and shit like that. So, you know, for regular folk, man, that don't understand and, you know what I'm saying, how power grids and, you know what I'm saying, them poles and how them lines and shit go, you feel me? You know, yeah, we complain, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when my lights and shit go out, even this one day or out, you know, we complain. But, you know, a lot of times, you know, we don't know, but it do take a lot, man. But, and again, we do know. It's just, you know, it's just human nature to complain and, you know what I'm saying, you know, whatever. I'm not saying that it's right, but, you know what I'm saying, that's just something that we do to tend to cope with what's going on. And sometimes it's egregious, you feel me? And it's not, you know, presentable to anybody how we act, but yeah. And then it's 70% black. Yeah, of course they're gonna have a black mayor. Like, what is he talking about? And the lineman getting shot at, I don't know nothing about that. I had to look that up. But even if the lineman did get shot at, that's crazy because y'all doing all this complaining about a motherfucker fixing y'all shit. Now y'all here fixing it and y'all shoot. That is crazy.
The reason that the time has been extended for them not getting the power like other places near Gary or in Gary is because of the lineman getting shot at, which delayed the power return. Now, let's look at the people who run in the city, because I would think, if I wasn't a smart man like I am, if God didn't bless me with common sense and me not being a race baiter. They call me a race baiter. These fools race baiting. You say a city is being treated poorly by the white man. Look at the city council.
I heard nobody say that.
Black, mixed. I don't know if she a Mexican or she black. Black. Everybody on the city council. 6 people or 9 people on the city council are all black. Those are the people that make decisions for the city. You just saw the mayor of the city on that press conference. He's going to do an interview here in a second. He's black. Now let's look at the leadership at the power company that owns NIPSCO. The power company that owns NIPSCO, the executive vice president, group partner of utilities and this new company, NiSource or NiSource or whatever. Is that what it says? NiSource? The president and chief executive officer. That's the
Those
CEO.
are representatives, not owners.
Black. Executive vice president and chief operating and safety officer. He's black.
These are
Mayor
representatives,
black. City
not
council
owners.
black. The leadership that owns and oversees that has.
No, these are representatives of this company. These are not owners of the company. You know what I'm saying? Again, like you say, executive vice president, you hear me, president of and chief executive vice president and chief of operating and safety officer. These are people representing the company who have roles inside of the company. I guarantee you these people don't own the fucking company. And even if they got a share in the company, they don't have the damn majority ownership.
Yes, vicarious responsibility for NIPSCO, which is the power company they're talking about. They're all black. All these people are black. Now, here's the mayor on Don Lemon Juice's show, wrote a clip.
This is, to me, it feels like neglect. Do you think that some of that neglect comes from or is happening, if you feel that way? It may be in part because Gary is a black working class city.
100%.
100%. I believe that a couple things are at play here.
How long?
During the.
Can we roll that back real quick? I want to roll this back. I want this to sink in your head. This Neanderthal is a black man.
First of all, he don't even know what the fuck a Neanderthal is, but let's go on.
Who runs the city. This is the mayor of the city.
Guys are Neanderthals.
He knows who the city council is. He knows who's the leadership in the power company. Knowing this, he's on Don Lemon Show and says this, roll it.
Do you think that some of that neglect comes from, or is happening, if you feel that way? It may be in part because Gary is a black working class city?
100%. I believe that a couple things are at play here. During the middle of the restoration process, the utility company, and full transparency, 15 years ago, or 15 years, I worked for that company, so I know about the process. They were releasing the updates of restoration, and Gary was not listed on that restoration list. Gary is the largest geographic footprint of a city that we have, not population-wise, but geographic footprint. And that was the moment that the extreme frustration came out from the public, because it would appear that we're being forgotten when you don't list out the actual restoration time frame. So that's where all of the mayhem really started to get triggered on the ground level.
As you guys can see in the interview, there's a white lady in there complaining about what happened to her. It ain't all black people that live there. If it was an all black town, and maybe they would have a complaint.
You know that you started off
know,
saying it was
20%
black.
of people that live in Gary, Indiana are white.
This nigga, man.
Do they not count? Does the white man say, I'm willing to sacrifice white people to make sure them Negroes can't get no power?
Yes, they do.
Are you stupid enough to believe that's true? Come on, listen to this one girl. These are two therapists, they claim. Roll the clip.
This is a major city in a major country into a city that has changed the world because of what happened in the mid 60s and 50s. And it's pure negligence. The DOJ has to look into that. And
yeah, I think this is it's really kind of interesting. Yeah, I think the DOJ and a whole lot of things need to be looked at, and it's just it's really good. I mean, when you're talking about there was only so many news outlets, and now they've lost control of the news outlets, and the story kind of took a life of its own. Yep. And I think that may be signaling like a problem. Like, how do you damper it? I mean, the people that could be interested. And one thing I think is fascinating is that as I'm watching this on television and social media, I'm also noticing that all of the NIPSCO workers are white. I was really surprised by that. I thought that NIPSCO workers would be, a mix of individuals, but the people who are in charge of the electrical grid for Gary, Indiana, do not look like the residents of Gary, Indiana.
They're not. They don't look like the residents. Take the picture back up there. Well, then a picture of the black folks that's a part of the power company. They don't look. What do you call them?
Are they the representatives?
Complain that that the people don't reflect the demographics of Gary, Indiana.
Man, yeah, he's killing me, man.
Call
do those
them
people live in Gary, Indiana? I can't tell you.
What are they doing about the power shortage in Gary, Indiana? Put the Don Lemon interview up. Call him, who's the mayor, and ask him why they're not set up and have preparedness ready. At what point are you going to hold other people of color accountable when they're at every level of accountability in that city? Okay. We're going to move on to Jeff Metcalf's, Austin Metcalf's dad. Before we get there, this shirt was on popular demand. People wanted the shirt. They saw the basketball player wearing the shirt. It's available to you. The definition of a woman, an adult human female, the counterpart of man. Get you one of these shirts today on the Arsenal Tatum store or tatumstore.com, tatumstore.com. Make men, what was the other one we had? Make men men again. That's the phrase, but the phrase on there is men are not women. Men are not women. All right, I think that's fair, and we got other merch on there. So go to tatumstore.com. Go to tatumstore.com and buy your merch today. All right, let's get to Jeff.
Hey, but that go into so what I think he talking about is the Enos and Kanter and old boy trying to get into the WNBA. So Enos Kanter was at a game the other night here in Chicago, man, and they had to remove the man and shit like that, man. That's just crazy, man. Like I guess he was heckling some of the women player or whatever the case may be, and it got a little out of hand or whatever. But yeah, man, I think that's insane, man, for them two brothers or them two guys, rather, you feel me, to be trying to get their ass in the WNBA.
I thought they got banned.
I don't know what happened, but they ass need to go sit down somewhere.
Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's dad. I thought he did a pretty reasonable interview. At least he was honest. Let's juxtapose that or compare that to Carmelo Anthony's family. You can say what you want to say about Jeff Metcalf. I think he said some foolish things, some crazy things, but at least you know where he stands. And at least he's honest about what he's saying. At least he's standing on business. Where's Carmelo Anthony's parents at? Now that it has come out that he brought a gun to school and all that, where's his parents coming out? Listen to Jeff Metcalf take accountability for his son's behavior and actions. Roll the clip.
For the first time since a judge denied the appeal of Carmelo Anthony, we're hearing from the father of Austin Metcalf about new details.
See, because that shit is documented. He done had therapy, run-ins with the police. Carmelo ain't had no fucking therapist or no run-ins with the police or no record or none of that shit. All that shit that he was saying was allegedly through some text. That's a difference from emotional text from really what this motherfucker did and actually acted out on. Like, come on, man.
It was released at court.
Gut-wrenching.
Jeff Metcalf says he didn't know all the accusations about his son's behavior. In court, lawyers say Austin Metcalf previously got in trouble for graffitiing KKK, kill all black people, used the N-word, and bullied a black student.
The stuff that came out, I'm not proud of my boys for doing that. They got punished at home for that behavior. I don't condone it. It's not what I believe.
Jeff Metcalf, who has faced
I will pay $1,000 right now to Carmelo Anthony's family if they would come out and say the same thing that he just said.
If I was them, I'd come out right now.
It's not right. I'm not proud of it, and I've disciplined them for the behaviors that they've bestowed or they've shown. I want to hear Carmelo Anthony or any other black person. Now, I'm going to give you $1,000. It's just his family. But any other black person that's in here defending Carmelo Anthony, how about you say you don't condone his behavior? You don't condone him bringing a gun to school, drugs. You don't condone him trying to bring a gun to a state fair.
Shit,
you don't condone the message of him talking about killing his girlfriend and all this other crazy stuff he was doing. But the problem is these type of people cannot take accountability for anything. Road clip.
Criticism for his own racist comments, said at an event for the foundation he started in Austin's name that he doesn't want people to judge his son only on a snippet of his life.
I would ask these people, did you know my son personally?
The appeal also contained new revelations about Carmelo Anthony, including that he threatened an ex-girlfriend and texted repeatedly about violence, including writing, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade." In a new statement to ABC News, Anthony's attorney says his legal defense is not intended to diminish Austin Metcalf's life or his family's grief. Legitimate questions about racial fairness, equal treatment, public access, judicial impartiality, and the constitutional process cannot be dismissed as merely bringing race into the case. These new details from court were kept secret as part of a deal the lawyers made before the trial, which Jeff Metcalf says he didn't know about.
Do I wish it would have come out? Yeah. From both sides, you wish all the information come out. Look, when you got 20 pages versus 75, and then these words versus these words.
He says if a jury knew, he thinks they would have doubled Anthony's sentence.
And, you know, I get accused of taking sides. I'm just a rational person. If I'm not looking at either one of these boys' colors or nothing. If the jury heard that Austin Metcalf was a dirtbag, and then they listen to testimony of his behavior that day, and they go, well, he wasn't a dirtbag on that day. There's no evidence that he was being a dirtbag on that day. All the black witnesses were saying that Austin Metcalf was asking him politely to get up and move, and that they claim that Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor. That was testimony from witnesses, and many of them were black. Now, when the jury hear Austin Metcalf, they go, well, he didn't do that on the day. He was a terrible kid growing up or whatever. They go listen to Carmelo Anthony, and they go, he did exactly, he said he gonna stab somebody and lick the blood off the knife. He said he on the verge. He brought a gun to school. He talked about killing his girlfriend, threatening her, stalking her. Once they hear that, although he didn't present that, the image of who this young man is will limit the sympathy of the jury. And they will no longer look at him and be like, it's a young man who made a mistake. He don't deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison. They may perceive this kid is a menace to society. He is a murderer. He premeditated the murder. He fantasized about murdering somebody. And he took that murderous theology, that murderous thought process, and he executed on that day when he killed Austin Metcalf with no remorse. And then if he don't take the stand, they don't have nothing to work off of but his words and his actions, which would have probably got him 60, 70 years in prison. All right, here's the rest of the interview. Roll it.
This case was really never about guilt or innocence. It was about how long you're going to do.
Did you get justice?
No. There's no such thing. I got handed a life sentence.
You got handed a life sentence.
So did Megan, so did Hunter, and so did everybody else in my family and her family. We don't ever get to see Austin again. We don't get to talk to him. We don't get to hug him. This guy, he still gets to see his family. It's a tragedy that he has to be in prison. I feel sorry for him. Just due to the fact that his life is pretty much ruined. I don't feel sorry for what he did, though. He needs to be held accountable.
Do you have a sense of why some people can't accept that they believe Carmelo Anthony did not get a fair trial?
Sure. There are people in this world that will believe whatever they're told. They follow. They're sheep.
Can I ask you about the racial element of the case?
Sure.
How did it get that way?
It's real simple. The other side decided to bring it up.
He said it started when he was asked to leave a press conference by Anthony's parents shortly after his son's murder.
Who was not invited? He knows.
What is the other side, bro? What
to
is
be
the
near
other
this
side?
family.
I think that day is when race was really entered into it. Because till that point, I never looked at it as a black and white thing. It was a right and wrong thing. That's all. Whoever did it, my first question was one, where's his parents? How was he raised? Why did this happen? Not, oh, he's black, he must be guilty. It never even crossed my mind. It doesn't matter.
Nah,
I don't see
but your
colors.
son putting
At
KKK kill.
trial, prosecutors and defense attorneys made a secret deal to focus on what happened under that tent and exclude evidence about Anthony and Metcalf's character or past behavior.
We're not going to drag stuff from
This shit could
what
have
they
been
did in
about
fourth
race.
grade. We're not going to drag stuff from
Big
this
bro,
guy's
what up?
character because at the end of the day, it's real simple. They had 20 pages on my boys. I read it. They had 75 pages on Carmelo. I read that. If it would have came out in court, I think he would have got more.
After the verdict, Jeff Metcalf appeared on a podcast where he used racially charged language and disparaged Anthony's family.
What was that about?
One, yes, I said it. Two, I own it. I'm not backing away from it. If you listen to the 10 seconds before the clip and you get the context, because I'll repeat it for everybody right now. I'm not racist. Let me make something up that is racist, and I bet you it will go viral on the internet. So it's a social media experiment. I'm not going to apologize for anything, but was it my finest moment? No.
16 months after Austin was killed, his
Time out.
father said,
That's called white man math. No, just you know how you say girl math, white man math right there. I'm gonna do a social experiment and say watermelon felon. Now he did, in all truth, he did say that I'm not racist. I'm gonna say something to make it viral, and he did. Now, is he racist? I don't think the man is racist, but he could be. I don't know. I don't know that man personally. I don't know what he's scribbling on pieces of paper when we ain't watching. So I don't know. But he came out at least and said, I want to make amends with the family. He showed up at their press conference. That to me don't seem like a racist man. When it first happened, he came out and said, leave the race alone. Don't make this political. This is one boy making a bad decision. This is what Austin Metcalf dad said when he first came out. He didn't come out hating them. He didn't come out saying nothing about black people. And then he showed up at the press conference trying to make amends with two families coming together. But they got ignorant activists up there leading their family off a cliff. I'm telling y'all right now, if they would have partnered with Austin Metcalf's dad and they would have came together as a community,
Probably would have got that much.
They would have been able to have Carmelo testify. Some people saw this stuff in the news. They probably had a little more sympathy for Carmelo and probably gave him 25 years.
I ain't now hold on.
They
Now,
had nothing to go off of.
now I ain't gonna lie. Cause now that he said that, Two Wheels, I can kind of go for that. I can kind of go for the family. I can kind of go for that. I can kind of go for that. I can see how the world, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to take that, I don't want to say it like that. You feel? But some people say if you want to take that sucker, you know what I'm saying, sucker shame road, and you know what I'm saying, and do that and you feel me? Not fight for the yeah. But I can see if they would have did some things with the family and reconcile, you know what I'm saying, on national television and whoop the bell. Now, I ain't saying he would have had to take the stand, but maybe if they'd have did that and the family would have been more compassionate towards one another and shit like that, you never know. They probably would have. You feel me? I can see that.
Maybe, bro. But it's Tatum, man. I'm just biased to it, that nigga. I don't like that nigga, man. I'm sorry,
And
man.
I think
It is Tatum, bro.
people saw it for what it was. All right, one more clip, and then we're gonna move on to men and women's basketball. Roll it.
In recent weeks, Jeff Metcalf started a foundation named for his son with Bruce Carter, a community advocate who works on conflict resolution.
It's the ability to walk away, but you have to teach people that before they're in that moment. We live in a society right now that conflict is normal, so we have to prepare people prior to that.
I want to make sure no other parent has to feel this way. Now, can I change the entire world? No, but I can do my part, because it starts with one step. This is the first step, but it's the first step of the rest of my life.
What do you want us to know about Austin and how he should be remembered?
He touched so many different hearts in such a short time. That boy taught me stuff. I taught him too. I was his dad. He taught a lot of people a lot of things. He was a good kid.
Now, maybe he was headed in the right direction. I don't know. Let me just say this, because I want to be fair about this, because I told people this the last time I was doing this video, is that I wasn't perfect when I was young. I told a story about how I got arrested at 8 years old smoking weed with my cousin and when we were young, so we kind of got influenced into doing it. But I stole from people. I stole from grocery stores or the little corner store right down the street from my cousin's house. We used to go in there and steal chips out of there, put it in our hoodies. I did stuff on the stupid when I was young. I stole rollerblades out of somebody's garage one time. My daddy don't know this. We put it back, but we stole a garage. We were riding by, we took the rollerblades out, and we felt bad about it. We went back and put the rollerblades back in the garage. I got kicked out of high school after I had a scholarship to the University of Arizona for trying to fight my teacher. Got suspended for trying to fight this dude over my girlfriend, who she had a fight with him, and I didn't know she wanted to fight. She had me running up to the school like I'm gonna have to pull up in her honor, and she won a fight, and I got suspended. What else did happen, man? I didn't got in trouble when I drank before. When I was 18, I drank and drove once, and it was bad, man. I couldn't even walk. I was so drunk, and I was driving because I didn't want nobody to drive my car.
Oh shit!
Police pulled up right next to me. What's up? They said, "What's up?" They pulled off. I got home. I was throwing up for 3 days, and I haven't drank Bacardi since.
And that's why nigga.
I remember I was having a good time. My first summer at the University of Arizona, I got drunk at the weekend with my football team, and I hate going out, so I rarely went out. But this night I went out. We went to Phoenix. I was at a girl. Well, we were all at this girl house. She had fun parents. You know how parents they kids friends. They not their parents. They friends. So this girl and another girl and it's 4 of us football players. We all over their house drinking, and we underage. And
that they was white.
She said I look like a basketball. She asked me did I play basketball. And as a football player myself, after hitting them weights like I was doing, I got offended. And I took my shirt off and flexed on her mama like this. I said, This looked like a basketball player to you. I took my shirt off at this woman's house and flexed on her. That Bacardi was hitting, boy. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, I didn't make my own bad decisions. I fought teammates. I blew up on coaches. I remember one time I was going to kick the door in on my neighbors because they got my car towed. My homeboy had to stop me. I was really going to kick the door in and beat everybody up in the house. Kids, everything, women, everything. I was crazy. Thank God he stopped me. You know, it's a bunch of people I wanted to put my hands on. I didn't fought a couple people, you know, and so I'm not up here acting like I'm better than these kids. They could have gone on like I did, got saved, and changed their lives. So I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, too bad that they didn't get a chance to do that before they made an ultimate mistake. One dead, one, you know, doing 35 years. He probably only going to do 20 years in prison. All right, let's get to verdict before we get to the next story. If you are a bourbon enthusiast or a person who loves good bourbon, and I love good bourbon, matter of fact, I want to make sure y'all come to my event and must be 21 and over and drink responsibly. All right.
Determination, but White are ineligible for the 2027 WNBA draft.
On that, and then if they think the bourbon is good, because I want y'all to hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say about it, what Charles Barkley had to say about it, and I can't stand Steven Jackson, but at least he was right about it. Wrote a clip.
The WNBA reportedly says former NBA players Enes Kanter Freedom and Royce White are ineligible for the 2027 WNBA draft. Front Office Sports reports the WNBA made that determination, but didn't explain why. The league's unnamed sources dismissed the duo's draft declarations as, quote, simply publicity stunts, saying they don't want to give oxygen to an effort to mock or demean the league. The WNBA has seen nothing but controversy over the past few months, from protests over male inclusion in the female sport to the league not defining what a woman is. Kanter Freedom says if being female is one of the league's rules, he's ready to play.
Are you a trans woman? Listen, Section 13, right? Article 13, Section 1 says if you identify as a woman, then you're allowed to play. So you are identifying as a woman tonight? I identify as a woman, sure, yes. Okay. So I can play. But they're never going to let you play. Why not? I mean, that's the rule. That's the rule that they put. So I'm just following the rules.
Jeremy, I love that he's exposing the ruse that is the lack of rules and policies of the WNBA. What makes him a publicity stunt? Because I think it's a publicity stunt for any man dressed up in woman face and a skirt to just claim a title by playing in the sports. And I don't know why all of a sudden the league has the ability to determine.
And that shit crazy too. Don't put that shit on the WNBA. Come on, man. Get the fuck up out of here, man. We all know what a woman is, bro. So I'm thinking, me personally, I'm thinking that they doing this shit, you know what I'm saying, for publicity. You feel me? Just I'm thinking to bring awareness to the BS of the trans movement. You feel, and again, I don't want to, let me restate that. I think they trying to bring awareness to the stuff that's going on with the trans movement, with men being women and women turning into men and trying to, you know what I'm saying, playing sports and being overseas and doing this thing and playing different sports. I don't really think that they really want to play or really want to be there. I just think they're trying to make a mockery of the system and not the WNBA system. Y'all need to stop that shit. This is the world system. This is what the government, this is what people who we vote into these offices and things like that. This is what they're allowing. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why they doing this. In my personal opinion, and I could be so dead wrong, maybe these motherfuckers do want to play the WNBA. But I'm thinking more of just making a mockery of the current system and getting people to open up their eyes. Hopefully that's what they doing.
Incredible transitions, incredible identification, when to most of us, it's all nonsense. Isn't that the point?
All right, perfect. I like what she had to say, and I like the way the conversation is going. The point that they're making, and people who are spineless, in my opinion, you're entitled to your opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I think these men are spineless when they won't stand up for what's right, and they don't at least do their research. What he's pointing out is that they're so vague in their virtue signal that they're not virtuous at all. They want to have the appearance of it. And Elon Musk coined this, he said in an interview, and I'll never forget it. They want the appearance of virtue, but lack virtue in and of itself. Virtue is protecting women and making sure that women's sport is fair and is conducive for the growth and success of women. When you go and implement, if a person identify as a woman with no criteria, then they're just exposing logic. You won't even make them have to be taking hormones. You don't have to make them take a blood test. You don't have to, they're on medication that they've seen a doctor. you guys are not requiring any type of measure. So therefore, it leaves the door open for men to just say, I identify as a woman. Who are you to say, and what criteria is to say if this person is real or not, or genuine or not? That's the point. Charles Barkley, what does he got to say? Roll it.
I always support the gay community. I always support the transgender community. I got none but love and respect for gay people and transgender people. But under no circumstances do I think men should play against women. Zero. I'm disappointed in Adam Silver and Kathy, the commissioner. First of all, you can't let stupid stuff go out to the internet, which is one of the worst things that ever happened to the world. They should have come out 2 weeks ago before all this, because people are looking for attention now. Just say,
including this guy.
But he has a point, though, because Kathy and Adam haven't said, hey, it's in the title, WNBA. We're not going to have transgender people in the WNBA, and we're not going to discuss it again. That's what Adam and Kathy should have done 2 or 3 weeks ago before they turn it over to the internet and every fool, idiot, and jack to have an opinion on. Adam should come out, and Kathy. I like both of them a lot. Women can own. There's no transgender people going to play in the WNBA. If you don't like it, kick rocks. We're not going to discuss it anymore. And Ennis is trying to get attention because listen, if he did all the operation things, no, we're not doing that either. The WNBA is for women. And listen, this is the last time we're going to discuss it. We're not going to turn it over to the fools on the internet. We're not going to turn it over to Congress and things like that. The WNBA is for women only, period. We're not going to discuss it again.
I would love to hear more of that, but y'all can go watch it on their channel. But I think Chuck had a point. Like, I support people living who they want to be. I don't agree with it, but I support you doing your thing, man. If you happy, I'd rather for you, because that's between you and God. I'm not your God. So I'm just having an opinion. I'd rather you be happy and you deal with that with God than for you to be living miserable and go jump off a building or something, or you hate your life and you destructive to other people. Go live your life. You have free will. As long as you're not hurting children, 2 consenting adults can go and marry each other or claim they married or whatever you want to do. I don't care. That's not my battle. And I support, I got people that I know that I love that are gay. That's between them and God. As long as you ain't trying to touch my booty, then I don't care. You be nice to me, I'm nice to you. Trans people, I don't got no problem with you being trans. I think some trans people are genuine. They genuinely feel that way, and they genuinely are happy when they look like a girl or look like a boy. And then why do I give it has nothing to do with my life. If somebody at Walgreens want to be trans, what is that doing to me? I don't even know you trans. You ain't in my life, I ain't in your life. You be happy. Now, God gonna judge you. If you want to have a conversation with me about that, we can talk later. I can show you some Bible verses. You feel me? So I don't hate gay people or trans. I'm rational. There's a difference between being fair and not being fair. Let me tell you this. I will give up everything I own and everything that I will own for the rest of my life. Well, let me not say that, because there's always a possibility somebody do something crazy. But I would almost put everything in my life and my legacy, everything, and my kids' legacy. You can have all that money they ever would generate forever. If you find a trans man that make it to the NBA, it's never going to happen. There will never in the history of the world as it exists today that a woman will transition to be a man, meaning they take hormones, they grow a mustache and they hairy legs, that will ever somehow have a competitive chance to play in the NBA. There is 45 opportunities right now for men to transition to women and play in the WNBA, and they will be the stars of the WNBA. The disproportionality in that alone tells you that this is not fair. Stephen A., what do you got to say? Roll it.
No man should be playing in the WNBA. No man should be competing against women in female sports. We got to stop it. Men should play against men. Females should play against females. And transgenders should play against transgenders. Simple. That's not being anti-trans. That's being pro-female.
Steven Jackson, I hate to put him on the screen, but he did make a good point here. Roll it.
Man, y'all got to stop the clown shit. I got daughters. I played basketball on the highest level. One on the highest level. Matter of fact, I won on every level. There's no woman that could ever play in the NBA, bro. Ever. And we've had some great women basketball players, but none of them were good enough to play in the NBA because it's men. A man should not belong in no women's sports. Because the ones that saying they should, y'all going to be out of jobs. Then what you going to say? We going to have 2 NBAs? No, bro. No. Y'all not making no sense. Y'all trying to make it about Ennis cancer. He trying to protect women's basketball. I don't understand what the problem is with him. Black people have been identifying as free and equal for how long? Half of y'all still accepted that. So y'all want people to accept a grown man?
I Ninja Turtle. They can't stay right. He could have just stayed with the women. He talking about black people identify as free.
They do shit.
We ain't free?
No.
We ain't free.
Hey, something wrong with you.
I told you,
All right,
man.
ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. I got to make a phone call. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching Officer Tatum. Make sure you subscribe to my Substack. Go to Substack, download it now.
Get his ass out of here.
Man, I told you, man, that nigga hate his own kind. I'm down on that here.
I just found him. I found him appealing, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, man. I was
nigga, man.
I mean, man, you know, don't get me wrong. A lot of the shit he says, wow, but some of the shit, you know what I'm saying? I can see some of the shit he talk about. A lot of the shit I see just be like, yeah.
Hey man, like I said on the other one, sometimes the fakest niggas say some of the real shit sometimes.
Hey man, hey, my boy 318 last night said it best. Real is fake and fake is real. He said, don't let it go over your head. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, last one, and we ain't gonna play all of this, but I just want to hear a little bit of what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? Look, I want to hear about what he got to say. Let's check him out. Bam!
Not this nigga. I don't like this nigga either, but
I don't like no damn body, man. Let's get into this guy up, man.
Sheriff's Department has not answered, and some of them are the sharpest questions anyone has put to this investigation.
So
but listen to what he is asserting and listen to what he is asking, because they are not the same thing, and the difference is the entire reason this video exists. When it ends, we go through every claim he makes, what the public record supports, what contradicts it, and what we could not confirm no matter how hard we looked.
It hurts my heart for Sister Christine, Nolan's mother, to have to see so many people using her son's name and crisis and tragedy for clickbait. And that's one of the biggest reasons, Art, I kind of stood back. It almost reminded me of the Freddie Gray police unaliving in Baltimore back during the Barack Obama era. When Freddie Gray lost his life to those police in Baltimore, everybody rushed to Baltimore. They did the same thing with Michael Brown and Ferguson. Man. Not because they necessarily cared about the tragedy.
Real quick. Hey, man, big up. Hey, man, big salute, man. Hey, to Professor Remo, man. You know what I'm saying? The man got his bachelor's. You feel me? Big up to my brother. You know what I'm saying? I see that diploma, you know what I'm saying? I see that August bachelor diploma, my boy. You feel me? You know what I'm saying, man? Keep doing your thing, my boy.
But because they wanted to benefit personally from it. And so I stayed away from Ferguson. I stayed away from Baltimore. And I stayed away from the Nolan Wells situation for a while.
What's up,
because like so many other people who just jumped in to have something to say, to use that young man's loss of life for clickbait and views. Now that it's been over a month since he lost his life, I think it's okay for me to speak now. Now let's take a closer look at this, Art. According to what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, and what I've read, Nolan, Warren, Wyatt, and Trayston left for Horn Island the morning of July 4th. According to Warren's own words that he offered during an interview with Officer B.T. Coon, that's Coon as in C-U-N-E,
Coon as in Khewn, Coon as in Kuhn, Coon as in CONN. So Warren did a sit down with Officer BT, and as we all know, BT is white YouTube's pet monkey. He's white YouTube's pet monkey. So Warren sat down for an interview with white YouTube's pet monkey. And he said that they left for Horns Island the morning of July the 4th, and that it was approximately 30 of them spread across 3 boats. Approximately 30 youth spread across 3 boats. They all went to Horn Island together. They arrived at approximately 11:30. So they left around 9-ish, 8, 9-ish, whatever the case may be. They left the morning of July 4th. They arrived on White Devil's Horn Island at about 11:30. So 3 boats, 30 youth, they went together. I'm not clear on whether they came back together or not. That's another question that I have, Art. Did they come back together the same way they left together? Because I'm treating all 30 of those white youth and all 3 of those ships as crime scenes and as suspects. All 3 ships are potential crime scenes. All 3 boats are potential crime scenes, and all 30 youth are potential suspects. I don't know why Jackson County Sheriff Ledbetter or Jackson County District Attorney Mulrath, I don't know why they decided to separate the boat that Nolan was on. Warren's boat, I don't know why they separated that boat from the other 2 for purposes of investigation and analysis, because those 3 boats operated as a team. And since they went out there as a team, and it hasn't been made clear to me whether or not they came back together as a team, all 30 white youth and all 3 boats should have been part of this investigation, not just the 1 boat. That is my first big issue with this case. Who decided to separate the other 2 boats and the other 20 or so youth? I got a problem with that, Art, because according to the Cajun Navy, they have no GPS information on the other 2 boats, Art. They have no GPS information on the other 2 boats. Now let's get into this. According to Warren and Nolan's other so-called white friends, they decided to leave the island around 4:30. So they were roughly on White Devil's Horn Island from 11:30 to 4:30. That is about 5 hours. About 5 hours. Now, one question that has to be asked, Art, why did y'all leave so soon? Because they party on Horn Island all day long. Y'all didn't leave at sunset. Y'all didn't leave at sundown. Y'all left after only being there 5 hours. That's a little suspicious, Art. And I haven't heard anybody ask any of them, why did y'all decide to leave after only being there for 5 hours? Did y'all plan to only be on White Devil's Horn Island for 5 hours? Why did y'all leave at that time? But we'll deal with that later. So then let's listen to Javon, Nolan's other best friend. Now, another problem I got with this whole story, Art, is Nolan allegedly had too many best friends. I'm trying to find out, how does Nolan have so many best friends? And why did all of these so-called best friends leave their best friend on White Devil's Horn Island without his cell phone and keys? I'm trying to figure this out. So Javon claims
he don't need no damn keys.
He's Nolan's best friend. Warren claims he's Nolan's best friend. And Trayston allegedly claims that he's Warren's best friend. So did Warren have 3 best friends? Excuse me. Did Nolan have 3 best friends? Did Nolan have 13 best friends? Did Nolan have 30 best friends? Because if Javon is the best friend of Nolan, and if Warren is the best friend of Nolan, and if Trayston is the best friend of Nolan, exactly how many best friends did Nolan have? Are y'all making this up? Who did Nolan tell Warren was his best friend? Who did Nolan ever tell Trayston was his best friend. I'm not going to question Javon, because he's a brother. And I do believe that there's a strong chance that they may have been best friends. And I say that not only because Javon is a brother, Art, but I also felt that Javon, through the investigation team and alley-oop, with some of the answers that he gave on TMZ. Some of Javon's answers, in my opinion, kind of made it clear to me he actually cared about Nolan. He actually cared about Nolan. I believe Javon actually cared about Nolan. And because of that, I'm willing to say that Javon may have actually been Nolan's best friend. I wish somebody would have asked Javon, Art.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
Man, hey, Umar entertaining, man. He entertained. I just want to hear what he got to say.
To your knowledge, has Nolan ever called Warren,
that man is hilarious,
his best friend? Has Nolan ever called Trayston his best friend? Bro. To your knowledge, Javon, has Nolan ever told you that Warren and Trayston were best friends of his? Because, Art, I'm having a problem with this three best friend narrative. Okay? I used to be 18 years old. You might have one best friend. You may have two. Don't get me wrong. If you all hang in a pack, you could have three best friends. But according to Javon's own words, Art, he didn't really hang around with them other guys too much. That's what I allegedly thought I heard him say. He didn't hang around with them guys too much. So if you got 2 or 3 or 4 best friends, you guys normally travel as a group. Javon seemed like he kind of spent most of his time with Nolan alone, just the two of them, not with Trayston and Warren. Although he knew them, it didn't appear that he hung out with them on the regular. So how could they all then be best friends? It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's unlikely. So according to Javon, Art, he saw Nolan at 340 on the island. According to Javon, what I heard him say to TMZ allegedly was that he had another friend who was involved in an altercation and that he left Nolan at about 340 to go check on his buddy, because according to Javon, his buddy was on another ship and the parents of whomever on this other ship were trying to get him off the island because he was crashing out. He never said who this friend was. He never exactly told us what happened. But he said, I left at 340 to go check on my friend on another boat because, quote unquote, well, these are not his words, I'm paraphrasing. He was kind of wilding out, crashing out, and he needed to help calm him down. I'm paraphrasing. He said when he got back, Nolan was nowhere to be found. And I'm paraphrasing. And Nolan's boat that he came on, Warren's boat, the so-called Big Daddy, the 22-foot Triton, had already left the scene. So according to Javon, I left Nolan at 340 to go deal with another situation. I came back, he was gone. According to Katie, the white girl who Nolan's white best friends are trying to use as an alibi in this situation. Okay, because they claim, and Warren said the same thing to Officer B.T. Coon when he spoke with him. They claim that Nolan told them, I'm going to hang back on this island and talk to Katie. You guys go ahead and I'll get back however I get back. Again, I'm paraphrasing. But guess what? We learned through Katie's sister that Katie said she has no knowledge of Nolan ever saying that.
Mom, Dad's been away working for a whole year.
Hold on, man. No, that ain't what she said. She said that he said he was going back to them or some shit like that.
And Katie said her conversation with Nolan was between 3 and 4:30. So you know what that means, Art? We can pretty much digest, conclude that Nolan was likely to have been unalived, Art, sometime with...
He ain't switching shit up now, big bro. Now, I ain't gonna let you do that to him. Now, we do know his motherfucking narrative and his speech. Yeah, his speech is raised baiting, but take that shit out. He telling the truth.
In the hour of 3:30 to 4:30. I'm going to insinuate that Nolan's life was taken because I do not believe he accidentally drowned. If he drowned, he was forcibly drowned. And we'll get to that in a minute. If Nolan drowned, he was forcibly drowned. He did not accidentally drown. He was a great swimmer. Miss me with the nonsense. That boy did not drown. If he drowned, it was by force. So again, Art, all three of these people, arguably the last three to see him alive, except for those who took his life, Katie, the coach, and Javon, are arguably the last three people to see Nolan alive, except for those who took his life on that boat, allegedly. That's my position. So they're all basically cutting off around 3:30 Art. Remember, they made the call for the emergency CTO at 4 o'clock. Javon said he cut out 3:40. The coach, 3:30. They made the call at 4 o'clock. That conversation we heard, the CTO call, which we're going to talk about in a minute, that place at 4, it sounded like there was some struggling going on in the background. Nolan could have been getting unalived while they were making the call, Art. Nolan could have been getting unalived while they were making the call. Nolan could have been getting choked out while they was on the phone with Cito. So again, Art, my position is Nolan lost his life somewhere within the hour of 3:30 to 4:30. Now, before we go any further, Art, I need Ben Crump, investigation team, and Sheriff Ledbetter's investigation team to have a conversation with Javon, because according to Javon's statements on TMZ, the police never spoke to him. And I have serious concerns with the manner in which this investigation has been carried out so far, Art. I have very serious concerns with the manner in which this investigation has been carried out so far. So anyway, Javon said police never spoke with him. Why? We need a conversation with Javon, not because I think he's a suspect. I believe Javon is innocent, but we need to find out what he knows. That's number one. We also need a conversation, Art, with the coach. Who is this coach that Sister Christine said contacted her and told her he had a conversation with Nolan on the island between 2:30 and 3:30? We need to find out what he knows.
Yeah,
and according to Katie's sister, she is already cooperating with the authorities. But here's why those three got to be spoken to, Art. Not only so we find out what they know, Art, but did they see each other during their conversation with Nolan? Because Javon, if you was talking to Nolan and left him at 3:40, and if Katie was talking to Nolan sometime between 3 and 4:30, and if the coach was talking to Nolan between 3:30 and 4:30, Art, at least two of you should have ran into each other. Did the coach see Javon? Did Javon see the coach? Did the coach see Katie? Did Katie see the coach? Did Katie see Javon? Did the coach see Katie? Art, if all three of them are saying they saw Nolan for the last time, roughly within the same hour, hour and a half, Art, did y'all run into each other? Let me tell you why I'm asking this question, Art. And I'm not throwing no shade at my brother Javon. I like Javon. I'm not throwing no shade at Miss Katie McCormick. I don't know her. I'm not throwing no shade at the coach, Art. But the reason I need to know why all y'all put your time within the same frame and you may have not possibly seen one another, Art, are you guys keeping yourself out of the window of witnessing this crime by saying you didn't see him after 3:30? I want you to follow what I'm saying here, Art. It's kind of interesting that they all saw him last at 3:30, not after 3:30. Javon 3:40, roughly 3:30. My point is, Art, for all three of them to have the same exact time, if they did not see each other at all during these conversations with Nolan, are they pushing up the window of time during which they saw Nolan so they cannot be included in this investigation as a witness to a crime? In other words, Art, I don't think Javon had nothing to do with it. I know he didn't. But is he saying he saw Nolan a little earlier than he saw him, so he can't be pulled into the investigation? I don't think Katie had nothing to do with the crime, but it's Katie putting her conversation with Nolan a little earlier than it actually took place to make sure she can't be dragged into the investigation as a witness to a crime. Is it possible that the coach is putting his conversation with Nolan earlier than what it was, Art, to make sure he cannot get dragged into the investigation? I don't think they had anything to do with it, but they could have been a witness to a homicide, Art. They could have been witness to a homicide. If they did not see each other, if none of those three people, the coach, Javon, and Katie, if they did not see each other at all talking to Nolan, if none of them saw each other talking to Nolan, at least two of them are lying about the time they last saw Nolan. Are you following me, Art? All I'm saying is I have my suspicions as to whether or not this convenient 3:30 cutoff window, I have my suspicions that this convenient 3:30 cutoff window may have not actually been the time they saw Nolan. They may have saw Nolan closer to the time he lost his life. Now, stay with me, Art. I want to back up for a minute. And I want to say this to Brother Elmore, Nolan's stepfather. And I want to say this to Coach Tracy, who I believe was one of Nolan's coaches. Brother Elmore, the stepfather, and Coach Tracy, the coach, both said on national television, Art, that they don't think race played a role in this at all. Elmore, Tracy, two dark-skinned black men in Mississippi, and both of them said on national television, I don't think race had anything to do with this case. I am disappointed in Brother Elmore. I am disappointed in Coach Tracy. How dare you help these young people avoid the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. federal hate crimes law, Art? By you saying you don't think this had anything to do with race, Brother Elmore and Coach Tracy, you are helping these white folks avoid federal hate crimes charges. And let me tell you why this is important, Art. Let me tell you why this is important. Under the federal hate crimes law, Matthew Shepard, James Byrd, signed by Barack Obama, 2009. Under the Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, you can go to jail for life.
In this legendary space MMO, the heroic acts and merciless betrayals of its players weave the fabric of the universe.
You can go to jail for life under the Federal Hate Crimes Law. So if you can go to jail for life under the Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, why is Nolan's stepfather and coach telling white folks they don't think it had anything to do with race? I still love my brother Elmore. I still love my brother Coach Tracy. But would y'all please watch what comes out of your mouth during this investigation? Because you are undermining justice for Nolan. I hope you're listening, Brother Elmore. And I hope you're listening, Coach Tracy. You are undermining justice for Nolan by saying you don't think race had anything to do with it. How in the hell do you know? How do you know if race had anything to do with it? How well do you know these young people? It was 30 of them, Art. It was damn near 30 white youth spread across 3 boats. How many of them did Elmore know? How many of them did Coach Tracy know? So how are you going to go on TV and say, I don't think it had anything to do with race? Why are you helping them avoid accountability for what they may have done? I don't know if they did it, Art. You don't know if they did it. They don't know if they did it. And they definitely don't know if it was motivated by race. What they should have said, Art, is what Javon said. And that's why I like the young brother Javon. That's why I like that young brother Javon. His mother, Sister Tashima, shout out to you. You raised a good kid. When TMZ asked Javon if he thought it had anything to do with race, Art, when TMZ asked Javon if he thought this had anything to do with race, he said, what? I don't want to answer that question.
Hey, she raised a good kid too. They see some tech, man. Let me stop. Oh.
I don't want to answer that question. Perfect answer. Perfect answer. Or Art, they could have said, I don't know. Nolan's stepfather could have said, I don't know if it had anything to do with race. Coach Tracy should have said, I don't know if it had anything to do with race. But to say you don't think it had to do with race when he was the only black boy across 3 ships? Are you out of your mind? Why would you say that and help them avoid the Federal Hate Crimes Act? Javon gave a better answer than those 2 black men. Javon, a child, gave a better answer than those 2 black men, Art, when he said, I don't want to answer the question. And shout out to Javon, Art. He's intelligent. You know why? Because by saying, I don't want to answer the question, he answered the question. Of course, race has something to do with it. This is the United States of America. Race has something to do with everything involving black people. The country was built on the backs of black people. It's maintained on black people. We are disproportionately represented in the criminal justice system, overrepresented in the unemployment line, under the poverty line. Of course, everything in this country has to do with race. And I'm disappointed in us, Art, that we are so afraid to call racism what it is, that we literally got people asking us, when a white person takes the life of a black person, do you think it had anything to do with race? When a police officer takes the life or shoots a black person, do you think it had anything to do? What kind of idiotic gaslighting question is this, Art? All white people are racist. All white people are racist. So we can stop asking if it had anything to do with race. If it's black and it's white, it has something to do with race because all white people are racist. That's just how it is. Now let's get back to this.
Hey, he wilding.
Before we deal with the infamous Cito call, Art, I got a few questions for Warren.
What'd he say?
I want to deal with that infamous Cito call, Art. And I want to deal with Sister Tashima and Sister Christine's visit to Warren's home to get Nolan's cell phone. I want to deal with them 2 in a minute. But before I go there, I got a couple questions for Warren and his white friends. Nolan's best friend, and Warren even called Nolan his brother, Art. He even called him his brother. He said they spent the night together before they went out to White Devils on Island, Art. The night before, July 3rd, they stayed in the same home. How do you stay in the same home with somebody, Art, and leave them on an island? How do you sleep in the same house with somebody July 3rd and then leave them on an island July 4th? But I got a few questions for Warren. No disrespect. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty, but I got a few questions for you, Warren. Since you can sit down and interview with Officer B.T. Coon, I need you to sit down and interview with Dr. Umar Ifatunde. So that you can sit down and interview with Officer B.T. Coon, I want you to sit down and interview with Dr. Umar Ifatunde. My first question to Warren, you said that Nolan is a best friend of yours, that he's like a brother. I have a question. If Nolan is your brother and best friend, why did you leave him on that island, especially when you all were drinking? Because somebody put a report out there, Art, that Nolan had been drinking heavily and was intoxicated. Of course, that allegation was dismissed because the coach who contacted Sister Christine confirmed that he spoke to Nolan between 2:30 and 3:30, and Nolan was not intoxicated. So they lied to protect their friends, because white people are always on code, Art. Not a single white person on that island dropped a dime yet. Not one of them. So anyway, Art, they tried to blame it on him being drunk. So he was just a drunk black kid who walked into the water and drowned. That's the narrative they wanted us to swallow. He was just a drunk black kid who walked into the water and drowned. And remember, Art, Sheriff Ledbetter allegedly ruled the case an accidental drowning before he did any investigation.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space?
That's true, he did. That's true, he did.
He ruled Nolan's death an accidental drowning before he did any investigation. As far as I'm concerned, that meets the definition of public corruption. As far as I'm concerned, that meets the definition of public corruption. But staying with Warren, Art. Warren, if Nolan is your brother and best friend, why did you leave him on an island without his cell phone and his keys? Why did you take his cell phone and keys back to the mainland? You left him there and took his cell phone and keys back. Can you please explain that to me? What person wants to be on an island without their phone? Help me understand that, Warren. I don't know of an 18-year-old who wants to be anywhere without their phone, Art. They don't want to be in school without their phone. They don't want to be at home without their phone. They don't want to be out of town without their phone. They don't want to be at the mall, the movies, the restaurant. They don't want to be nowhere without their phone, let alone on an island with no way to get off. You left your best friend on an island, your so-called brother. You left him on an island with no way to get off, and you took his phone and his keys. Can you explain that to me, Warren? While you're thinking about it, I got another question for you, Warren, while you're thinking about it. You said at 11 o'clock, you called Miss Christine to see if she heard from her son. Warren said, Art, I called Miss Christine to see if she heard from Nolan. She said she had not heard from Nolan. Can I ask you a question, Warren? If you took his phone, how in the hell was his mother supposed to hear from her son when you have the son's phone? Did you tell Miss Christine that you had her son's phone when you called her? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't. Think about that, Art. He called the mother and asked her if she heard from her son. But he knows she didn't hear from her son, Art, because he has her son's phone. How can the mother hear from Nolan when you have Nolan's cell phone and you left him on an island? And I bet you didn't tell her you had his phone. Because if she knew you had his phone, Art, she would not have had to use Life 360 to find the phone. If you had his phone and you called her at 11 o'clock to see if Nolan was okay, why didn't you tell Nolan's mom you had his phone? Why did my sister Christine and my sister Tashima have to use Life 360 to find their son's phone? Because you playing games. You playing games. You playing in our face like we stupid. That's what this is. I don't know if he did it, Art, but he damn sure knows who do. I allege and I believe that all 30 of those white kids on all 3 of them boats know exactly which one of them did it, and the rest of them are covering it up. And guess what, Warren? And the rest of you 30 white kids on those 3 boats, let me explain something to you. Federal hate crimes law, you can go to jail for the rest of your life in case nobody didn't tell you. Federal hate crimes law, you can go to jail for the rest of your life in case nobody told you. Guess what? The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, you can go to jail for up to 30 years. And if Nolan was unalived by more than one person, that constitutes a lynching. That constitutes a lynching. So you can go to jail for up to 30 on the Emmett Till Act. You can go to jail for life on the Matthew Shepard James Byrd Hate Crimes Act. And in the state of Mississippi, Art, if you are an accessory after the fact, not accomplice. Accomplice means you participated in the murder. Accessory means you helped cover it up afterwards. If you are an accessory to the fact, after the fact, Art, you can go to jail for up to 20 years, Mississippi law. So they can go to jail for up to 20 years, Mississippi law. Accessory after the fact, you helped to cover up the crime. You can go to jail for 30 years on the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, because more than one of you probably participated in Nolan's unaliving. And under the Matthew Shepard James Byrd Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, they can go to jail for life. And this is why I need Nolan's step, pop, and coach to watch what comes out of their mouth and stop trying to help these white kids avoid accountability for what they did to Nolan. Because if the tables will turn, white folks are not going to try to help your child avoid any accountability. So stop the cutting. Now, another question I have for Warren. You said you and Nolan been friends since 8th grade. Since 8th grade, Art. But Sister Christine says she don't know none of them kids really, Art. She don't know them white kids. So help me understand how you are Nolan's best friend, friends since 8th grade. You called him your brother. Y'all spent the night together July the 3rd, the morning before y'all went to White Devil's Horn Island, and his mother don't even know who you are. And you said out your own mouth that y'all never hung out at Nolan's house. So how are y'all best friends? I had best friends growing up, Art. My mother knew who they were. Who has a best friend that they mom don't know about? Help me understand that. A best friend and the mom don't know him, it sounds suspicious. Why didn't you tell Miss Christine you had her son's cell phone when you called and asked if she heard from him? Art, as far as I'm concerned, there's probable cause he has something to do with this. Art, I'm holding her son's cell phone. I left him on the island. I took his keys and phone. And I'm on the phone with the mom. I got his phone, but I'm calling his mother at 11 o'clock. Have you heard from your son? And I'm holding her son's cell phone, and I don't even tell her. Art, this ain't making no sense. Crazy. This ain't making no sense. And I want to know from Sheriff John Ledbetter, Art, Jackson County Sheriff, you don't have probable cause just off of that alone? Somebody calls somebody's mom asking if she heard from him while they have their phone and left him stranded on the island. And if you care so much about Nolan, Art, if he cares so much about Nolan, the so-called white best friend, Art, why did you wait till 11 o'clock? Y'all left the island 4:30. Y'all left the island 4:30. If you care so much about Nolan, why are you not calling his mother until 11 o'clock? It's pitch black outside at 11 o'clock, Art. It's pitch black. It's almost midnight, and you wait till 11 o'clock to call his mom and ask her if she heard from her son, but he's supposed to be your brother and best friend. Listen here, Warren. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And then I have a question for his dad, too, Art. I don't know if you know this, but his dad has started an online fundraising platform for Warren and two of his friends. I think they raised $160,000 so far. $160,000. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has received a warrant. Nobody has been indicted. Nobody has been charged. Art, if you are innocent, why are you raising money online? You ain't been charged with a crime at all. The state of Mississippi is doing everything they can to make sure y'all don't get charged with anything. So why are you raising money online? Why did y'all cancel your social media? Why are y'all lawyering up? They hired Donald Trump's lawyer, Art. One of Donald Trump's lawyers is now the three of their lawyers. If you innocent, what you need Donald Trump's lawyer for? If you're innocent, what you raising $160,000 for? It sounds like y'all getting ready to defend yourselves. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like y'all think the truth is going to get out really, really soon, and y'all want to be prepared for it. Again, Art, I'm not saying he did it, but I definitely believe he knows who do. Now,
this is the fastest way to flush out edema.
Want to flush? Hey, hey, man, hey, that's real shit, man. Hey, whether you like Umar Johnson or not,
I kind of agree with that, man.
That's why I say whether you like Umar or not, man, shit, he got a point.
Now, we're going to get to this call. But before we get to this call, Art, I want to ask a question to Benjamin Crump. Attorney Benjamin Crump. I met him twice, Art. I met Benjamin Crump the day before I graduated with my doctorate at an Urban League conference in New Orleans. I presented at a workshop at the Urban League conference in New Orleans. This is July of 2012. And I flew back to graduate and get my doctorate in clinical psychology. We had lunch. It's a few of us at the table. We had lunch. Okay. This is around the Trayvon era. And then I met Benjamin Crump again at HBCU Delaware State University about 3 or 4 years ago at the Black Farmers Conference that was put on by one of the Black professors there. She invited me to keynote the luncheon, and she switched me out at the last minute for Attorney Benjamin Crump. I understand it was a Black bourgeoisie event. I'm not a member of the Black bourgeoisie. I got switched out. I understand. No harm, no foul. Ben Crump gave a good speech. But here's my question to Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. Here's my question to Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton, Art. How long are y'all going to wait around before y'all call a spade a spade? How long is Ben Crump and Al Sharpton going to wait around, Art, before they tell the world that they don't think this investigation is being done correctly? How long before Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton demand that the FBI and Department of Justice take over this investigation? Art, it's been over a month and we know nothing. It's been over a month and we know nothing. Now, let me say this, Art. There's several circumstances through which you can demand the FBI come in and take over an investigation. One of them, Art, if there is a suspicion of public corruption or obstruction of justice. The FBI, the Department of Justice, can come in and take over a case on the suspicion of public corruption or obstruction of justice. So you're going to say, Dr. Umar, what evidence do you have of that? First of all, they declared this an accidental drowning before they did any investigation. That's a cover-up. Not only that, Art, they never treated the boat like a crime scene. They never took a look at the other two boats. We have no information at all on the other two boats. Those 30 white kids should have had their cell phones confiscated, investigated. All their social media should have been investigated. Their homes should have been investigated. They should have all been interrogated. They should have been investigated to see if they or their parents had any connection to any of the white hate groups in the state of Mississippi. None of that was done. They gave the boat back to the owner, Art. They gave the boat back. The boat may have been a crime scene, and they gave it back. Now, according to the Cajun Navy, another question for Ben Crump, Art. According to the Cajun Navy, they offered Ben Crump to put dogs on the boat and let the dogs sniff it out to see if anybody had recently been deceased on that boat or if there had been any blood on that boat. And according to the representative from the Cajun Navy, Ben Crump told him don't do it. So I need Ben Crump, respectfully, I'm not accusing him of nothing, Art, but I need Ben Crump to explain to me.
Yeah, but then you got to learn the law, dumbass. That'd have been negligence. He can't just do that shit.
Why you didn't let them use the dogs to sniff out their boat? Why did you not let them sniff out?
Yeah, because then they're going to say it was an investigation that he did and they didn't have nothing to do with it and all that. So they were supposed to take charge to do that. Ben Crump shouldn't have had to order that. The police or the investigators should have did that on their own.
Out that boat with them dogs. Did you have your own dogs to sniff out the boat? Because if you didn't, why didn't you let them sniff the boat out with the dogs? The dogs can tell, Art, if somebody had recently lost their life or if blood had been spilled. He said Ben Crump told him no. I need Ben Crump to explain that. I need Sheriff John Ledbetter to explain why the boat wasn't treated as a crime scene, potential crime scene. I need him to explain why all them white kids wasn't arrested and questioned.
Ain't gonna lie. All three of them boats should have been confiscated.
Because if it was black kids and a white kid went missing, Art, they would have all been arrested and questioned. You know that. They would have all been arrested.
Man, them kids will be in jail right now.
And questioned. And then let's talk about the autopsy.
Fast.
Let's talk about the autopsy. So the Mississippi State Medical Examiner, they do their autopsy July 7th, right? July 7th. And then Nolan's mother requested an independent autopsy, as she should have. They send Nolan's body to Washington, D.C. When the black medical examiner gets the Nolan's corpse, Art, the throat tissue and the lung tissue is gone. How is he supposed to determine if Nolan died?
Now the throat, the lung, yeah, I get the lungs, but the throat, I'm still baffled about this throat shit.
Died from being choked out, or if Nolan died from drowning, if he don't have the throat tissue or the lung tissue, Art. How is he supposed to do his job? And y'all didn't send the throat tissue or the lung tissue. And nobody has explained yet whether or not the medical examiner in DC is ever going to get the throat tissue or the lung tissue.
Well, we know
And
that
I personally believe, Art, I personally believe Nolan was deceased before he hit the water. I believe Nolan was deceased before he hit the water. And the reason they held on to the throat tissue and the reason they held on to the lung tissue is they didn't want nobody to know that Nolan was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Emmett Till was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Dr. King's brother, A.D. King, was murdered before he hit that water. Remember, Art, when Dr.
Now, that's the only thing I don't like, though. I get it, y'all. You feel me about all the atrocities and bad shit that happened to us. But come on, man. We ain't listen. That shit happened. We ain't gonna group that shit. We gonna treat this case as this case, and it's fucked up. And we know it's fucked up because of what they done in the past and privy to us, right? But we ain't gotta keep saying the Emmett Tills and all that old extra shit hang with the case, right? You feel like I'll get tired of hearing that shit. Only because I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know what the fuck the past is. We know what history is, bro. But let's stick to this, focus on this shit. We know there's some fucked up shit with this. We ain't gotta compare cases and shit like that. You feel? And again, I'm also saying that because it ain't like a motherfucker finna get up and do nothing. Shit. We don't give a fuck about each other enough to even, man, come on, man. Like, and I'm not saying everybody, but you know, just as a whole, bro, with the shit that's going on in the world, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say it like that because some people, like I say, you know, some motherfuckers do give, but for the most part, man, a lot of motherfuckers don't even give a fuck. Man, we don't give a fuck to want to come together. We don't give a fuck to want to support each other. We don't give a fuck to want to love one another. You know what I'm saying? Show respect, help motivate, help inspire. You feel me? Teach. Just don't give a fuck. And that's just as a people. And I ain't going to put that on my people. That's just everybody, bro. But it's sad when the narrative is being pushed in this fucking media just about your people. And then these is the representatives that way. I know I'm sitting up here listening to them. Because like I say, some points he do got. But we talk so bad about this motherfucker. These the representatives that we got that's pushing and promoting the story. Then we talk about the Crumps that try to help, and then next thing you know, it's a story about how bad Crump is. You know, we got Al Sharpton up there helping, but we already know that Al Sharpton needs some money before he can come up. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, so I get people too when they come up from that aspect. You feel me? I get people when they say they come from the money grab aspect. You feel me? But shit, like you say, the white folk doing it too. Shit, you know what I'm saying? They do it more than we do it, but when we do it, we just get persecuted for it. Like, get the fuck up out of here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't go for. That's what I don't go for. But let's finish hearing the man out.
Dr. King's brother was murdered, Reverend A.D. King. They found him in a swimming pool. They ruled it a drowning. And then one of the paramedics said, what, Art? One of the paramedics who took Dr. King's brother out the pool, Art, said he didn't have no water in his lungs. The paramedic said he didn't have no water in his lungs, Art. And plus, A.D. King, just like Nolan, A.D. King, just like Nolan, was a great swimmer, Art. Was a great swimmer. They kept them lungs, I believe. They kept the lungs, Art, because they knew that those lungs would have provided evidence of the fact that Nolan may have been deceased before he hit that water. They kept the throat because it may have shown some trauma that Nolan may have gotten choked out. And then you got the red substance around the back of the head that the DC medical examiner discussed. We don't know if Nolan got hit in the back of the head. We don't know if the blood simply drained to the back of the head. But here's the thing, Art. They say Nolan was found face down in the water.
Family.
Nolan was found face down in the water, Art. Not only that, Nolan was transported face down to Washington, D.C. So guess what, Art? I have my doubts as to whether or not the red, which is probably blood, in the back of the head, the subcutaneous red area. Art, I don't think that has anything to do with the blood draining to the back. You want to know why? Because he was found floating on his face. and he was sent to Washington, D.C. on his face. So the blood couldn't have went backwards, Art. I believe.
Yeah, that's true. So if he was dead in the water, but then again, if he was murdered before, you know what I'm saying, he hit that water, if whoever did, if they had him, and if they did decide to take him back, we don't know if he was laying on his back or his head or whatever. You feel me? But because again, he was found face down in the water. So like I get what they're saying. So if you found him face down, he was transported face down, the blood would have been rushing to the front and not the back of the head. But like he said, if he was killed before previously, before he got dumped in that water, you feel, I mean, you know, man, again, man, you know, we don't know, we speculate, man, you know what I'm saying? But let's finish this out. A little bit more, not too much, man, just a couple more minutes and we're going to get up out of here.
Nolan got hit in the back of the head, and it was that hit that cost him his life. It was that hit that cost him his life. It was that hit that cost him his life. Now,
yeah, but I'm thinking if he got hit in the head with something, bro, the skin, it would have broke some skin. You feel me? Like if you got hit that hard, like I don't know now, it could have been just some hemorrhaging, just some sub-hemorrhaging or some shit like that. But if you get hit with some shit like that, nigga, like damn, if you get hit with something that hard and it's taking your life, I would assume it would break the skin.
That being said, Art,
I'm just being logical. So I necessarily learned that's it about that, man. I don't want to hear no more Dr. Umar killing me. You feel me? So, but yeah, man, like, you know, it is what it is, man. You feel me? Like I say, man, I'm going to keep bringing y'all updates on this, man. We going to talk about it until, you know what I'm saying, the grand jury release or whatever they're going to do, and we see if it's going to be a criminal case, man. Also, another young man that lost his life, a 19-year-old man. He was in a car visiting his girlfriend when shots rang out and he hit a telephone pole, but he died in the car with a gunshot to his head. We're going to see what's going on with that and how they playing that. And if any information shit come out about that, man, we're going to be reporting that as well, man. We're going to try to stay on top of, you know what I'm saying, all the latest things going on out here in these streets, you feel me, in this world, man. Hey, man, listen, man, start loving each other, man. Start supporting each other, man. Start having peace or learning what peace is and having inner peace, man. You feel me? It's the world is too crazy, man. It's too fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot going on, bro. And the only thing we seen that can combat life with is hatred, is racism, is the disdain and dislike of other people, man. We got to let that shit go. That can't be all what we live for. You feel me? On both sides. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. You know, what's the difference between being racist and then just having a hatred? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. We got to do better as a people, man. I always come up here and tell y'all, man, we got to be great, man. If you want to be great, you know what I'm saying? You got to do better. You got to know better. And you got to show it and be a representation of what greatness is, man. And a lot of times, you know, that shit just ain't presented. I don't give a fuck what color you are. You know, they want to say it's presented as the color white, but it's not. You feel me? And I ain't finna sit here and say like, oh man, you know, my people, the great people. No, we not. Ain't nobody better than nobody, man. We all fucking have issues. We all fall short. You know what I'm saying? We all need people. There's no one motherfucker on the planet Earth that don't need nobody. Because when you would spit out that womb, without your mother's milk, without the care of the people, if they was around your mother and your father, you wouldn't have survived. There's no person that's on this planet Earth that don't need no help and that don't need nobody else. So we got to stop that shit. We got to figure this thing out, and we got to figure this thing out fast. But until then, man, you know what I'm saying? Listen, y'all keep coming to the channel. We're going to figure it out together. Hopefully we can all, you know what I'm saying, snap together. You feel me? Hit that snap back. But, man, with that being said, man, we finna go ahead and get up out of here. Two Wheels closing us out with some words of encouragement.
RP to Nolan Wells, man. And may the family know the truth, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's all I got, man.
Man, RP to Nolan Wells, man. RP to Michael Wright, man. Old Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah, we gonna spread our love around. RP to Dolly Parton. You feel me?
Yeah, her too, man.
You know what I'm saying? Condolences to the family, man. Listen, man, if you done lost somebody this year, you know what I'm saying, from January up into this time, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're a regular person, I don't give a fuck who y'all, wherever y'all. Listen, man, condolences to you and your family, and RIP to our ancestors and our loved ones, man. With that being said, man, y'all know what it is, man. I'm going to leave y'all like I came to you. Let's keep everybody in our thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. Once again, let's keep everyone in our thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. And lastly, family, I don't give a fuck if I do sound like Umar. Let's keep everyone in our thoughts, our prayers, our views, and meditations. And don't forget to master these 5 key components of life. That's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. That's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. And one last time, y'all, that's love, peace, respect, motivation, and inspiration. And don't forget to E40 that thing, man, and sprinkle a little support on top, because a little support go a long, 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 long way, y'all. Hey, it do. Believe me, it do. Hey, man, big shout out to all my kings and goddesses that's moderators for the channel. Appreciate y'all, man. Without y'all, man, wouldn't be no bearded conversation, man. From the bottom of my heart to the top of my mind, man. Big shout out to all my Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook supporters, man. Keep supporting, keep sharing your boy out. Keep hitting that like button on all platforms, man. Join the conversation. Man, the link is always in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, big shout out to my panel security, man. Big shout out to Two Wheels, Mr. AKA. You feel me? Always, even though he be late than a motherfucker, but he always here, man, supporting this boy no matter what I'm doing, man. Two Wheels always here. You know what I'm saying? So, man, big shout out to Two Wheels. Make sure y'all go tap into my channel as well. Make sure y'all go tap into Two Wheels, man. He don't say much, but when y'all get there, make them talk. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Two Hills STS, man. Make sure y'all check us out where we talk all things WWE. Hey, man, big shout out to my blooder, man, TMB with Monkey Man 4.4 the podcast. Make sure y'all go tap in with him. Dr. Chocolate. Make sure y'all go tap in with her. Listen, and if I forgot you, man, you know, hey, you're part of the family, man. Make sure y'all go tap in with everybody. Y'all know my saying. Go support those who support me, because I support them until further notice. You feel me? Hey, and don't forget about this one, man. Those that fuck with us, fuck with us. Those that don't, fuck with us anyway. With that being said, man, all superheroes don't wear capes, but they still need their theme music. So to all my beautiful people, all my superheroes, and all my Beardonians, man, you feel me? We out this piece, man. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, man. Number Thursday, man. You know what it is, man. Sunday to Saturday, man. We every day of the strong, we got something going on, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Peace.
Guys, yeah. Guys. My name is Cito. Guys. You already know that, dog. This the hottest show you gon' find around. If young niggas ain't known, you need to ask around. This is bearded conversation. It's all love and no hate. Around here we good, but we aim to be great. Dip back in the debate. Enjoy your Scooby snacks. Around here we just talk about this and all that. We talking real life, every day and every night. And if you need to clear the air, you can bring your wife. We got church on Sunday, that's on the west side. We got virtual reality, in case you're scared of outside. See, we got what you need, and that's a guarantee. The best thing about it is absolutely free. Bearded conversations, all love ain't no haters. Enjoy Scooby snacks, while we get back to the business. Don't matter if you black or white, who you think is wrong or who is right. These are just opinions, some inside, from a different walk of life. Yeah, see, my name is Cito. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, buy this man a coffee. Don't forget to lead over follow. Don't forget to love those that love you. And don't ever forget that you ain't never been richer than you are right now.
video, man. Thumb up the video, man. Like the video, man. Thumb up the video, man.
Like he said, you feel me? Hey, man, before we get up out of here, man, make sure y'all don't forget to tune in, man. This Friday. Y'all see it, man. We got Boo London going to be in the building, man. You feel me? 9 p.m. Central Time, 8:28, man. Don't be late, man. Make sure y'all in the motherfucking building with us, man. We're going to have a ball, man. You feel me? Hey, man, he was on the debut. He got good music. I've been opening up with his Jones, man. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all see the background. Y'all know what it is, man. Hey, when we come together, may we always meet on a level. Once we in each other's presence, may we always be humble and plumb. And when we leave each other's presence, may we always part on the square. Some more to be, some more to be, some more to be. So may it be, family. Peace, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Same brown time, same brown channel. Y'all come brown now, you hear? Peace.